Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports 1140, your local sports leader. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson. Online at SactownSports.com or on the app. Kings, Niners, and Sacramento. The Matt and Kayla Show starts now.
Not today, voice guy. You got it wrong. No Kayla today, just Matt. Sorry, everybody out there who tunes in for Kayla, which is the majority of you. Kayla, enjoying a well-deserved 3-day weekend. I believe some of her gal pals are in town for her to hang out with, so I hope she has some fun. Last time she took some time off for an extended weekend to hang out with the girls when she went to L.A., and brought back with her the story of how she had to console one of her friends for the puppy that they wanted to adopt passing away before they could adopt it. So what kind of chaos will Kayla Anderson bring back from this girl's weekend? I guess we'll find out on Monday. But you made it to Friday. Congratulations. And you woke up on a day after a lot of NFL football was played last night, including the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Tennessee Titans at Levi Stadium, and the debut of Fernando Mendoza, the future, the hope, the present of the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, indeed. He looked so good. Can't wait to talk about that today. Also on today's show, why is Malik Monk being written out of the Sacramento Kings' future? It's really been happening since Scott Perry took over as general manager of the Sacramento Kings. But I'm not blaming Scott Perry for it alone. It actually, low-key, has kind of been happening since De'Aaron Fox was traded away and Malik Monk, out of necessity, had to step into that starting point guard role. And it didn't really suit him too well. From that point on, I think a lot of people in Sacramento have spoken about Malik Monk like he's still here, but almost wanting to already put him in the past tense. And I think it's wrong. We'll talk about Malik Monk at 11 o'clock in today's show. My good buddy Brendan Nunez from Sactown Sports will join us at noon. He and I have a lot of basketball topics to talk about. He'll join me for the final 2 hours of the show, from his thoughts on the Sacramento Kings schedule that dropped yesterday. Draymond Green weighed in on the Kawhi Leonard investigation and basically said that the punishment should be that they remove the salary cap. Kind of a crazy take from Draymond Green, but he's known for those. Tyrese Halliburton feels slighted by the NBA schedule makers for the Indiana Pacers schedule and his return. I'm actually completely on Tyrese Halliburton's side on this. We'll talk about that. Plus, D'Angelo Russell wants Steph Curry to join the Boston Celtics. We'll talk about that too with Brendan, and of course, all the Victor Oladipo stuff. It seems like Carmichael Dave put it out, I think yesterday, it seems like Victor Oladipo to the Kings is basically a lock at this point. And there's a lot about Victor Oladipo coming to Sacramento that I really, really like. I'm all for the Kings taking a flyer on it. But there's also a lot of things about it that are confusing, that I've seen Kings fans answer or ask questions about it that I don't really have a good answer to. Brendan and I will discuss that again when he joins me at noon today. It's preseason football, so it's not exactly the most enjoyable football to watch, although I know San Francisco 49ers fans and Las Vegas Raiders fans here in Sacramento very much enjoyed sitting on the couch yesterday and watching their teams play. It was two very different games for two very different teams. Of course, the 49ers are a team that is expecting to be in the hunt for a Super Bowl appearance, plus they've dealt with plenty of injuries, as we know very well, last season. So not a whole lot of really no starters playing for the Niners in yesterday's game against the Tennessee Titans, who did play their starters. As for the Las Vegas Raiders, well, even with old man Kirk Cousins, Clint Kubiak said, hey, you're getting out there. You're playing. So a lot of the Raiders starters, with the exception of like Brock Bowers, did play in yesterday's game. I know I know we're the home of the Niners here on Sactown Sports. Sacramento's home of the Niners, and hopefully, if you didn't get to watch the Niner game yesterday, you got to listen to it right here on Sactown Sports. You can listen to every single San Francisco 49ers game this season right here on Sactown Sports. And I know a lot of you listening are Niner fans. I'm aware. I've dealt with this my entire life. Being a Raiders fan my entire life, growing up a Raiders fan, going to the Oakland Coliseum, I know that Sacramento is and has always been primarily a 49ers town. But I know there's some Raider Nation fans out there that are with me here in the 916. Niner fans, don't get mad at me. I'm starting with the Raiders today. And I'm not starting with the Raiders just because I'm a Raider fan. I'm starting with the Raiders because, can we be honest with you, there's a reason why the Raider game was on ESPN. Because they got the number 1 overall pick in Fernando Mendoza. And we got to see Fernando Mendoza play. Before we get to Fernando, I don't want to gloss over what Kirk Cousins did. Kirk Cousins got the start, had one drive. It was like a 10-play drive, capped it off with a touchdown. Now, granted, he's going up against the Arizona Cardinals, so you would hope that he's able to find some success, even without Brock Bowers, against the Arizona Cardinals. He did that. He led the Raiders down the field. They got a touchdown. Good for Kirk Cousins. After the game, Clint Kubiak basically confirmed that, yeah, Kirk Cousins is going to be the starter. It's Kirk Cousins' job to lose. We've known this. There's no reason to rush Fernando Mendoza, as much as I would love to see Fernando Mendoza play and start right away, because I'm an impatient Raider fan who's putting all my hopes and dreams on the shoulders of the number 1 overall pick. But take your time with Fernando Mendoza. Take your time with him. Kirk Cousins looked good in his first drive. But then Fernando Mendoza time happened. I think he got 4 series, if I'm not mistaken. I thought he was going to be done after his touchdown drive that he led. But he looked good. He looked really good. His second completion was a dime. That man thread the needle. He threw a bullet pass through coverage, very tight window, right on the money. Fernando Mendoza's passing looked very, very sharp. His decision-making was great, with the exception of one thing. And I wonder if Clint Kubiak and his staff talked to Fernando Mendoza about this after the game. Brother, I know you're a competitor. I know you're not afraid of contact. Stop taking so many damn hits. Fernando Mendoza took a lot of hits yesterday. Now, none of them were over the top hard. Like, he was sacked once. It was fine. He wasn't afraid to get outside the pocket. He did scramble for 8 yards. Didn't give himself up, though. Didn't slide. Decided to take the hit. Every single time any Cardinals player came within 2 feet of Fernando Mendoza, I was holding my breath. Like, don't do it. Don't do it to him. I will say, we also got to see Ashton Jeanty get the start, and Jeanty was fine. Nothing too incredibly impressive from Ashton Jeanty. I did enjoy the fact that I didn't really have to talk about or worry about the offensive line that much. It does need work. Of course, it's going to need work, but it wasn't like egregiously bad. The starting offensive line really only got the work with Kirk Cousins early on. But for the most part, the offensive line wasn't so bad that it was distracting. Ashton Jeanty had 3 carries for 16 yards. His longest run was 10 yards. But Fernando Mendoza was very efficient. 10 of 16, 97 yards. His touchdown drive looked really good. He just seemed cool, calm, composed, ready. He's got a pretty nasty ball fake to his game. Did you notice the amount of times every time he'd do play action, whether he got rid of the football or not, he did like this crouch over the football to hide it as much as possible. Faked out the camera a couple times, let me tell you. And you know who I was really impressed by was rookie running back Mike Washington Jr. I thought he looked great for the Silver and Black. 6 carries, 63 yards, including that 53-yard breakout run that he had to set up the touchdown drive for Fernando Mendoza. He's bouncy, and it's going to be nice to have a bouncy running back on that 53-yard drive. Like, when he got the football, initially he was trying to go up the A gap. That gap closed quickly. He bounced to the outside, found a hole, broke it out for 53 yards, setting up that touchdown. But to have, we expect big things. As Raider fans, I say we expect big things out of Ashton Jeanty this year, with the belief or hope that the offensive line can do enough to allow Ashton Jeanty to be the breakout player that the Raiders are hoping he is when they used a top draft pick to go out and get him. But to have someone like Mike Washington Jr. behind him, to where after Jeanty takes a handful of snaps, you get a rookie running back that is capable of breaking out some big plays, that's going to be nice for Clint Kubiak to have. Fernando Mendoza looked really, really good. I was really happy about that. Wasn't happy, but was very familiar seeing the amount of freaking penalties that the Raiders racked up. Now, it is preseason. The Raiders ended up losing this game 27-14. Who cares? None of that matters. What matters is, what am I seeing that's consistent with last year? What am I seeing that's new? How did Fernando Mendoza play? Some of the other new additions, how did they play? But the Raiders' defense still looks suspect, as it's been kind of for a while. And penalties. Raiders were racking up far too many penalties for my liking, but any Raider fan knows you expect to see a lot of flags when you watch Las Vegas Raiders football. And there were a couple of drives for Fernando Mendoza that could have been more, that were slowed down or brought to a halt by a holding penalty that would cost him 10 yards or things like that. Jeremiah Love, by the way, looked really good for the Cardinals. I did like, because he played more than the Raiders starters played on his first drive when the Raiders starting defense was out there, or much of the Raiders starting defense was out there, I should say. I think the Raiders did a pretty good job defending the run. But as the game went on and Jeremiah Love got more snaps and more opportunities, he started to show why the Arizona Cardinals went and drafted him. 11 carries for 58 yards. His longest run was a 16-yard run. Jeremiah Love looked really good. Looked exciting, looked explosive. I'm certainly not going to be watching Arizona Cardinals football unless the 49ers are playing them twice a year, which some people say might as well just be a bye week. But if I'm an Arizona Cardinals fan, well, I guess I'm latching on to Jeremiah Love as much as possible and just hoping he doesn't get hurt, because I don't know what else there is to watch Arizona Cardinals football for. Gardner Minshew, Raider legend, tore the Raiders up. And again, it was mainly against like their second and third string defenders. But Gardner Minshew, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, 14 of 16. Where the hell was that when you were playing for the Silver and Black? Jacoby Brissett looked pretty good too. I mean, completed all 5 of his passes for 44 yards. But it's preseason. It's preseason. Fernando Mendoza, we know he's kind of a goober. We know that he is just kind of got this goofy sound to him when he speaks with the media. He spoke after the game about his performance overall, and in a weird way, like I appreciate players being humble, but as you're going to hear here, Fernando was a little more self-depreciating than I actually want him to be here. Take a listen.
It was great. It was great. You know, the first series I felt a little sped up, so it was good to come back on the sideline, learn from our mistakes, and then the second series we were able to score. Third series, you know, I missed a read there, and the fourth series I thought we had a good thing going, and then unfortunately I missed a throw at the end. And then overall, I felt that the group that I was in with, they blocked fantastic. They had great routes. The run game was good. You know, and unfortunately, like I let my teammates down today, but it's a growing experience, and you know, I feel like we're all growing, and it showed me that I need to grow a lot.
Fernando, you played 4 series tonight. I asked Coach Kubiak if he had a plan in place for you to play week 2 and week 3. He said you need, quote, lots of reps. Has it been communicated to you yet how much action you can see in Houston or week 3?
Do you mean like preseason week 2,
Correct,
week 3?
Yeah, how many reps?
Yeah, I believe that reps is always the answer. It's like there's no secret. You know, it's the more repetition that you have at a certain craft that you're going to be able to go closer to mastery every single rep that you attain, and that's something that I strive on the opportunity. I'm excited for the opportunity. Any opportunity of rep that I get, whether it's 4 series tonight, whether it's, let's say, how many series week 2, week 3, whether it's practicing against Houston, I'm looking for the opportunity because I have a lot of room to grow, and I'm really excited to get out there with my guys.
So Fernando's going to, quote unquote, say all the right things, right? He's humble. He's not going to really put his foot in his mouth, I think, at any point in his career. He's, if you want to call it media trained, or I just think that's just who his personality is. Maybe I'm taking this the wrong way. Maybe I'm overreacting to it. I don't want my quarterback, the number 1 overall pick, after making his debut and making some pretty damn good passes in that debut and having an overall solid debut, going to the podium saying, I let my teammates down. I don't know, man. Like, I didn't want to hear that from Fernando Mendoza. It's your first game. You're not out there with the starters. You're out there with the second group. We've been prepared for you to not be the starter to open up your rookie season. That's why Kirk Cousins is here. Fernando Mendoza went out there. I thought he balled out. He made some good decisions. He made some poor decisions. For the most part, played a really clean, efficient game in his first professional game as a pro, even though it's preseason. I don't need the guy to take the podium and start talking ish and acting like he just threw 3 touchdowns in a real NFL game and his team is destined for the playoffs. But there's a time and a place, I think, for being humble. And I understand that's who Fernando Mendoza is. But I would, if anybody on the radio today, anybody on a podcast, if I turned on ESPN and heard Stephen A. Smith say, hey, Fernando Mendoza let his teammates down yesterday, we'd roll our eyes at it, or at least I would, roll my eyes at it and call it garbage. I think that's ridiculous. I think Fernando Mendoza had a really solid debut that I won't speak for all Raider fans, but I know this Raider fan right here, what he saw from Fernando Mendoza made him more than excited for the future and gave us a lot of hope. And Raider fans know hope is a little bit scary because we've had our hearts broken many a time. But there was nothing that I saw from Fernando Mendoza that even had me remotely concerned in yesterday's game. I get he's trying to be humble, trying to say the right things. Dude, you didn't let anybody down. Relax. It wasn't that type of performance. Why don't we head over to the Bay, where the Niners hosted the Titans at Levi Stadium. I'm not a Niner fan. Y'all know that. But I follow the Niners very closely. Had the privilege of covering the Niners very closely for ABC 10 during their Super Bowl run. And over the last handful of years, I've watched Niner football closer than I've watched Raider football. Dejon Stribling looked awesome. Did he not? Man, he looked fantastic. When the Niners have as veteran-laden of a roster as they have, and that wide receiver room is very veteran-heavy, right? They bring in Mike Evans this offseason. He's going to be wide receiver 1. There's a lot of expectation and hope on the shoulders of Mike Evans and what he could do for Brock Purdy. You have Deebo Samuel coming back. And by the way, I'll play some audio for you in a little bit of Trent Williams talking about Deebo Samuel. He did an in-game interview and said some really cool things about Deebo. You also have Ricky Pearsall, who went down for the season, which I know was a letdown. The biggest bummer so far of training camp, was disappointing. But we look at the rookie. He wasn't a first-round pick, but he essentially was for the Niners. The Niners traded their first-round pick to move back a couple of times. Ended up getting the number 1 pick in the second round. They used that to go out and get Stribling. Well, Stribling comes out and put on a show. He made a couple of really, really good grabs through contact, through physicality, showed some speed downfield, his ability to create separation. Stribling was fantastic. 49er fans, I hope you were smiling ear to ear watching what Stribling did and has the potential to do. Because in my mind, Stribling is going to be lining up with Mike Evans on the opposite side of the field, or at the very least, Mike Evans right next to him, or maybe at times with Deebo next to him. There's going to be a lot of attention on some of the other guys that Stribling will be playing with in his wide receiver room. And Stribling was doing it against the first-string defense of the Tennessee Titans. And I know the Titans' defense isn't the most exciting thing in the world. They got a lot of work to do. You don't want to overreact too much to preseason, and it's much easier to overreact to the bad than it is the good. But everything I saw from Stribling suggested, yeah, this is a weapon that Kyle Shanahan can add to his arsenal. And you just hope that Stribling and Brock Purdy will develop some of that chemistry together. Because he was dynamic, man. He was really, really good. 63 total yards for Stribling. 7 receptions. He was targeted 8 times. Also, shout out to Jordan Watkins, too. Second-year receiver. Jordan Watkins was targeted 10 times in this game. 6 catches for 59 yards. I thought the wide receiver room for the San Francisco 49ers looked really good in yesterday's preseason game. Now, again, none of the top guys were really playing. We also were tuning in to see how Curtis Rourke looked. And he looked efficient. 12 of 14. 101 yards, no touchdowns, but didn't get sacked at all, didn't throw any interceptions or anything like that. I thought Curtis Rourke looked solid. I know Kayla and I have talked a lot about, could Curtis Rourke play himself into a position that Kyle Shanahan feels comfortable enough about with Rourke as a backup that would open up the door to the Niners trading Mac Jones and trying to cash in on his higher value based off of the season that he had last year as a backup. Mac Jones is probably the best backup in the NFL. It's largely considered to be the best backup in the NFL. You had a lot of publications coming out with their quarterback tiers, and Mac Jones was tiered and ranked higher than a lot of starters in this league. So Mac Jones has value. But Mac Jones also has tremendous value to the San Francisco 49ers, of course, because with all the injuries that they deal with, and especially all the injuries that Brock Purdy dealt with last year, it's just nice for Kyle Shanahan to know that he has a starting caliber quarterback in Mac Jones in his back pocket. But could Curtis Rourke play himself into a position where you feel comfortable trading away Mac Jones? He made good strides towards that in yesterday's game. Still has a long way to go for me to feel comfortable with moving on from Mac Jones given the injury history of the Niners. But Rourke looked good. Unfortunately, Curtis Rourke had to be taken to the hospital yesterday. You see this? He was actually just discharged not long ago this morning. Curtis Rourke apparently suffered a rib injury. During halftime, he had an x-ray, which came back negative, no broken rib. But he was having trouble breathing. So they had to send him to the hospital where he got checked out. Again, got released this morning. No word on a broken rib or anything like that. But that's kind of scary. Anytime I just randomly saw a tweet after the game. Yeah, Curtis Rourke was taken to the hospital because he was having trouble breathing. Huh? What? Is he okay? Sounds like he's fine. Doesn't sound like it's anything too serious, but hopefully he's good to go. I would imagine, depending upon when we get the actual diagnosis of the rib injury and its severity, I would imagine we might not be seeing Curtis Rourke for week 2 of the Niners preseason, which is against the, that's week 1, which is against the Chargers in L.A. Yeah, we probably won't see Curtis Rourke next week. Does that mean we'll see a little bit of Mac Jones? I doubt we'll see Brock Purdy, but who knows? No one really ever knows what Kyle Shanahan is thinking, and what Kyle Shanahan is going to do. Last thing, a couple more notes. This was cool. Folsom High School tight end Josiah Deguara, had 2 catches for 12 yards for the Niners yesterday. Made his Niners debut, so shout out the Folsom product. And I will say, again, the majority of the starters did not play. If not, pretty much all the starters did not play. But I thought the Niners pass rush looked decent. That's a major area of focus considering they were very terrible at getting to the quarterback. They had 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 6 quarterback hits. I know the offensive line for the Tennessee Titans needs a lot of work too. But there was a pass rushing presence from the Niners yesterday. And even in preseason, you love to see that. Couple things. Let's hear from San Francisco 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan speaking on the 49ers debut that DeJon Stribling had.
What do you think of DeJon Stribling's long catch down the field and his performance in general?
It seemed good. I mean, we'll see when we watch the film. I thought he struggled a little bit on the first drive, but think he got 3 drives after that, and seemed like he executed all the stuff that went to him, and I liked how his hands looked out there and played physical.
Is he moving around, or is he still playing predominantly in the slot for you?
He's moving around. Yeah, we're switching him up throughout the week, and he did a number of different things today too.
I know you talked about it before, but what do you make of the way he's handling sort of the adjustment of playing other positions and just everything that's on his plate?
He's handling it well. I mean, it was tough when he got hurt. He missed that week, and now he's been back for I believe a week, and hopefully he can string together 2 more of these weeks because he's going about it the right way. And as long as he gets those reps and continues to do what he's been doing, should be ready for the season.
I spy the voice of the Sacramento Bees, Chris Biederman, asking a couple of those questions to Kyle Shanahan. I promised you this audio. I thought this was really cool. So during the broadcast yesterday, they did an in-game interview on the sidelines with Trent Williams, who, of course, did not play yesterday. And Trent Williams was asked about Deebo Samuel. Here's what he said. If my computer loads in time. Come on, Trent. Talk.
Oh, man, it was amazing. I was talking to Deebo I talk to Deebo all the time. I mean, we talk probably once a week, since he left. But I talked to him, he leading up until him signing. I knew it was a possibility, and, I was just excited, man. I didn't want to jinx it. I didn't want to think about it too much. But, to get 19 back in the Bay, man, I think that's a huge thing for us. It's a huge confidence builder. He's a heck of a playmaker, and this is where he made his name, and I expect to see great things out of him again.
Like I've said about him since he got here, Trent, he's got a lot of horsepower and even more willpower.
Yes, sir.
And how he plays the game, and he plays it the right way. I think he's going to be as good as he's ever been. It's like he never left.
Yeah, I do. I honestly, and I told him, I think to me, Deebo is such a talented player. I think this might be the first time he's ever faced adversity in his career where he may have felt doubted as a player. So I think we probably getting the best Deebo the league has ever seen. Man.
I know a lot of this is Trent Williams hyping up his guy who's been his teammate for many years, even though Deebo just came back after a year with the Washington Commanders. But I do like the perspective. I do like that side that I haven't really thought about. Like Deebo waited a long time to find a team. And you could argue only got an opportunity in San Francisco because Ricky Pearsall went down. Like Deebo is playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, even if he's back in a familiar, comfortable territory. Boy, I hope Trent Williams is right. If that chip on his shoulder gets the best version of Deebo we've seen, I don't know if he'll top that 1,000-yard season that he had a handful of years ago. But if the if the 49ers can get a vintage Deebo type season as their wide receiver 2, with Mike Evans out there, not to mention Stribling. Oh, yeah. Brock Purdy's got some weapons to work with. We'll take the break. When we come back, Bradley Beal is back with the Clippers on a new 2-year deal. We're all still waiting to find out if the Kawhi Leonard trade is going to go through after the investigation. If it does, is it crazy to say that I think the Kings are a better team than the Clippers? Look at the rosters. I don't know, maybe I'm getting myself in trouble again with Clippers Twitter. We'll talk about that next. It's Matt and Kayla, but no Kayla today on a Friday. Sactown Sports.
Like and subscribe to the Sactown Sports 1140 YouTube channel at Sactown Sports 1140 to get the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Matt and Kayla, and the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on demand and at your fingertips. Get your fix of the Sacramento Kings, 49ers, Giants, Athletics, NFL, NBA, and the latest in sports and entertainment all in one place at Sactown Sports 1140 on YouTube. Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and yeah, I've been on the air here just shy of 25 years, and you guys know that when I endorse something, I have a few very important things. Number one, I love it when they're local. Number two, I have to be willing to use them myself. This is where Pest Pros came in, or comes in, I should say, because I've known these guys as Kings fans a long, long time. I also have a mouse problem at my house. I also have a cockroach problem at my house. And I did it the old-fashioned way. Went through Facebook, got a hold of these guys. We became friends. And when I found out what Pest Pros does in the community, I thought, I've got to have you guys on the air. We've got a partner. Locally owned, locally operated. Their kids go to school with your kids. You're going to get pest control somewhere. Get it with Pest Pros. Here's how you get a hold of them. PestProsPS.com or call them at 916-588-9345. That's 916-588-9345 and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Need a reason to hit the range this week? Well, Hagen Oaks has two. Monday nights are happy hour all night long with special pricing on hot dogs and ice cold beer while you hit balls under the lights. Then Thursday, join the new Top Tracer competition nights. Play Pebble Beach, compete in closest to the pin, long drive, and more with fun interactive games for every skill level. Grab your friends and make Hagen Oaks your weeknight destination. Visit HagenOaks.com for more details. Hagen Oaks Driving Range, more games, more laughs, more reasons to play.
Sacramento's best selection, best quality, and lowest prices on kitchen and bath products are at the new Anova Cabinet and Stone. For a limited time, get stunning new quartz countertops starting at just $159. That's right, only $159 for gorgeous quartz countertops. Listen to this. For a limited time, cabinets for kitchens and bathrooms are up to 50% off. Yes, up to 50% off new cabinets. It's a must-see. The new Anova Cabinet and Stone at Florin Road and Highway 99. Learn more at AnovaCabinetStone.com.
Folsom Chevy is truck country, where great deals and a wide selection of new Silverado half-ton pickup trucks rolls through August with a 0% financing offer. Swing by the Folsom Auto Mall or go to folsomchevy.com to find out more. Folsom Chevy, together let's drive.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Ben Hogan said, good golf starts with a good grip. It's true. If the golf club isn't in a square position after you grip it, you'll have to do something in the swing to manipulate it back to square. Otherwise, you're hitting big slices or duck hooks. Then you start gripping the club tighter, and that tension runs through the hands, up the arms, and into the shoulders. You're done before you even take the club back. 9 times out of 10, when I make a small adjustment in a friend's grip, the ball flight is much closer to straight or even a slight draw. You want to hold the club more in the fingers than in the palm, which allows your wrist to better hinge. The lifeline on your right hand will cover the thumb on your left. In this position, you'll see the top 2 knuckles on the back of your left hand, and the V created by the thumbs and forefingers should be parallel and point to your right shoulder. Grip pressure should be about 4 or 5 on a scale of 10. The correct grip is incredibly important, and if you're having issues, see your PGA golf professional. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
I don't know about y'all, but I've been seeing, since Russell Westbrook announced his retirement, I've been seeing nothing but like these graphics of like the old generation of guards, and basically everybody is black and white, as in they've retired, they're now gone, except for Steph Curry. I'm seeing these graphics everywhere. It's like Steph stands alone now from that generation. And I know Bradley Beal doesn't fit into the point guard category, but he is one of the older guards who's still sticking around. Bradley Beal's entire career, I mean, people forget, man. Young Bradley Beal with the Washington Wizards when they were a playoff team for a couple of years, that dude was nasty, but he has been plagued by injuries after injuries after injuries. Well, he's back with the LA Clippers on a 2-year, $13.2 million deal. And we know the name Bradley Beal carries a lot more nostalgia than his input on the court actually brings. Can we be honest? Right? And listen, we had some of those guys who've played in Sacramento over the years. Last season, Bradley Beal played 6 games for the Clippers. Averaged 8 points in those 6 games. Shot 37% from the field, 36% from three-point range. I'm glad Bradley Beal is still in the league. But Kayla and I have talked a lot about, and by the way, if you're just tuning in, no Kayla Anderson today. She's enjoying a 3-day weekend, taking a little bit of time off to spend some time with friends. She deserves it. Good for her. Kayla and I have discussing a lot about this relegation zone. The bottom 3 spots that the Sacramento Kings are going to be, I believe, fighting to avoid this season. If you're not familiar with the relegation zone, under the new draft lottery system, the bottom 3 spots used to be the best spots you could have, right? It gave you a 14.5% chance at the number 1 overall pick. Now those bottom 3 spots are worse in terms of draft odds or odds at the number 1 overall pick than spots like 4 through 10. If you have the 4th through 10th worst record, you have a better chance technically, it's not a lot, but you have a better chance technically of getting the number 1 overall pick than the bottom 3 spots. So avoiding that relegation zone is going to be what the Kings are mainly playing for this season. And we've talked about teams around the Kings that they might be competing with in that relegation zone. We've talked about the Milwaukee Bucks, who I think might be the worst team in the league. We've talked about the Brooklyn Nets. We've talked about the Memphis Grizzlies. I think we might need to add the LA Clippers to that list, y'all. And the Clippers better hope that this Kawhi Leonard trade goes through, because their roster will be better without Kawhi than it is with Kawhi. And that is not a hate Kawhi take, because if Kawhi Leonard, if the trade doesn't go through, meaning the Raptors refuse to have it go through, that's because Kawhi Leonard is getting a penalty that is probably significant, meaning he's being suspended for a large portion of the season. Remember, Kawhi Leonard is an expiring contract. Why would the Toronto Raptors bring in Kawhi Leonard and say he had to miss half the season? Bring in half a season of Kawhi Leonard. Wouldn't make sense for them. So if Kawhi Leonard stays in LA, that's because the Raptors backed out on the deal. The Raptors are backing out on the deal if the LA Clippers and Kawhi Leonard are getting a hefty suspension for this cap circumvention investigation and scandal that continues to just drag on. That means if Kawhi Leonard remains a Clipper, there's a good chance that a majority of the Clippers season, or at least a good portion of it, he ain't going to play. Now, a reminder of what Kawhi Leonard was traded for. The main pieces in the deal, like the main piece is really like Brandon Ingram, as well as like draft picks going back to the Clippers as part of this trade. So let's say the trade does go through, because I feel like it's going to. I feel like Kawhi Leonard to the Raptors is going to happen. You're talking about the best pieces of that Clippers team are Darius Garland at the point guard position, really good player. Bradley Beal, who's now back, assuming he can stay healthy, and that's a big assumption. Rui Hachimura, Brook Lopez, although he's older, Benedict Mathurin, and, well, is Benedict Mathurin back? Have they figured that out yet? And, in this case, like a Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram's a good player. Is Brandon Ingram the best player on that team? It's either Brandon Ingram or Darius Garland. Am I crazy? Am I crazy for thinking that the Sacramento Kings could be a better team than that? I would take the Kings roster even knowing that 2 of those pieces on the roster aren't exactly part of the long-term future in Domantas Sabonis and especially Zach LaVine. Now, I've gotten in trouble in the past for disrespecting the Clippers. Got put on freezing cold takes for it before. So I'm stepping into dangerous territory here. Clippers Twitter, don't get mad at me. I think the Sacramento Kings are a better team than the Los Angeles Clippers if this trade goes through. I am not impressed at all by this Clippers roster. It screams washed to me for the most point. Like, if your best players are Brandon Ingram and Darius Garland, those are 2 good players. I'm not going to turn my nose up at you. I would put Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis against those 2 pretty confidently. Not to mention adding our rookie in Darius Acuff Jr. to that mix. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Like, I think the Sacramento Kings could very well, I won't say easily, because who knows what this Kings team is going to be. I think the Sacramento Kings absolutely could have a better record than the Los Angeles Clippers when this season is all said and done. They're not supposed to. The Clippers are supposed to be better, but I don't think this Clippers team is going to be good at all. For the record, I don't think the Sacramento Kings are going to be good at all either, but I don't think the Kings are going to be nearly as bad as the projections have them being. You know, I saw Underdog the other day, which is one of those like sports betting sites, tweeting out a graphic of, the Kings have already been eliminated from the playoffs. Har, 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 har. Good joke. Good joke, Underdog. Yeah, they probably are not making the playoffs, of course. But I think the Kings are being too easily labeled as just the worst team in the NBA. I mean, Vegas is even doing it with their over-under for their win totals at, 21.5? Why are we talking about that Clippers roster like it's that much better just because it's in LA? Yeah, Darius Garland's a good player. Brandon Ingram's a good player. I think Zach LaVine on a contract year could outscore Brandon Ingram. Domantas Sabonis, in my opinion, is a more impactful player than Darius Garland is. And then the Kings rookie, Darius Acuff Jr., while I won't go as far as to say right away he's already better than Darius Garland, he certainly has the potential to be. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting in trouble with Clippers Twitter. Maybe I'm just trying to start an unnecessary rivalry at a time. And hey, any chance I guess we have an opportunity to talk smack about the Sacramento Kings, look, or as Sacramento Kings fans, with any sort of confidence, I suggest we take it because we might not have too many opportunities this season. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I think the Sacramento Kings will be a better team than the LA Clippers this year, or have the potential to be a better team, or at the very least, their records are not going to be far apart. To me, it's Kings, it's Clippers, it's Bucks, it's Nets. I like the Grizzlies for some reason. I just like how I think the Grizzlies are going to play. I don't know if they're going to win a ton of games, but I think the Grizzlies have a very clear identity, a very clear brand of basketball that the Grizzlies are going to play. I don't think they're going to be a play-in team. So I think they probably will be in the relegation zone conversation. But that Grizzlies roster is big and it's mean. From Cam Boozer to Zach Edey. Shout out Taj Gibson. I know he's an old man down there. Jeremy Grant. Nice addition for them. They've got a lot. Scottie Pippen Jr., I know they added D'Angelo Russell too. Isaiah Stewart. Like they've got a formidable, shout out Sacramento's own Jalen Wells too. Like they've got a formidable group there that, again, might not win a lot of basketball games, but I believe Memphis Grizzlies basketball is going to be physical. I don't think you're going to want to play the Memphis Grizzlies because you're going to walk out of there with some bumps and bruises. And I think Cam Boozer's the real deal. So I would absolutely put the Memphis Grizzlies above the Sacramento Kings. I'm putting the Memphis Grizzlies above the Los Angeles Clippers too. I do not think the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be a relegation zone team. But they'll be in the mix. The question is, can Sacramento be better than three other teams? Can the Sacramento Kings be better than the Nets, the Bucks, and either the Clippers or the Pelicans or the Grizzlies? Can they be better than three teams? I very much think they can. And the Clippers belong in that conversation. Coming up at 11 o'clock, in about 15 minutes or so, a little more than 15 minutes, I want to have a conversation about Malik Monk. I'm ready to champion Malik Monk. I've been championing, easy word to say, Malik Monk as the backup point guard in Sacramento going forward, at least this season, all offseason. I don't think you need to look that hard for a backup ball handler. You already have it. You have a 6th Man of the Year candidate in Malik Monk here in Sacramento. And yet, it feels like since Monty McNair was let go, since the Beam team as we know it came to an end, Malik Monk has been and is being written out of the future of the Sacramento Kings. I think we've lost perspective on just how good Malik Monk is, regardless of where the league is going. We'll talk about that at 11 o'clock. But coming up next, I got my boy Ramsey with me here today. And Ramsey and I, there's one thing we love about fall. We love Friday nights under the lights. The Sac Joaquin section is ready to pop off when it comes to football. It always does. If you're not paying attention to your local high school football, you should be. Ramsey and I are on the sidelines all the time. I was doing it for ABC 10. Ramsey was hustling solo. Now we're coming together here on Sactown Sports to make sure that these boys and these programs, as well as the amazing cheer teams and bands of all our local schools here in the Sac Joaquin section, get the shine, love, and attention they deserve. So let's preview a little bit of this high school football season that is set to begin very shortly here next on Sactown Sports.
This is Sactown, baby! Follow Sactown Sports 1140 on Facebook at facebook.com/Sactown Sports to keep tabs on the Kings, 49ers, UC Davis, and the entire Sactown Sports lineup all season long. Facebook.com/Sactown Sports. Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
The one and only Monster Jam. See the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Sparkle Smash, and more. Only at Monster Jam. Brought to you by Morgan & Morgan. Visit MorganMonsterJam.com to save 25% on ticket face value. Courtesy of Morgan & Morgan. Visit website for restrictions and details. Coming to Golden One Center this weekend.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, tell me what's happening for the Make This the Summer Sales event.
Right now, you can save up to $19,000 off MSRP on new 2026 Ram 1500 crew cabs. That means you can not only take home one of America's favorite trucks while saving thousands, you also get the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And we have new Rams starting as low as $35,995.
Wow, that's the biggest savings of the year. And I've not seen a warranty like that on a truck in a really long time.
That's why Ram is one of America's favorite trucks. Plus, with over 600 Rams available, your new Ram is waiting at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$19,000 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 1500 crew cabs after dealer discount and factory incentive. Incentives may include $1,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance with eligible trade. $500 military or first responder bonus cash for eligible members. At least 5 this net savings. $35,995 price for 2026 Ram 1500 tradesman. VIN number 421999. Excludes tax, title, and license fees. See dealer for details.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Heartburn. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing is worse than heartburn after a long day. When you're finally off the clock, dinner's done, feet kicked up, kids asleep, and boom, heartburn tries to steal the moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. The effervescent tablets start neutralizing acid in seconds, so you can sit back, relax, and unwind from your day. Next time heartburn hits,
quick, Alka-Seltzer.
Use as directed.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
2 weeks from tonight, you've got a date every Friday. If you need Friday night plans in the greater Sacramento area, you're covered all fall. You're covered until December if you want to be, because it continues to blow me away how many people do not realize how good the high school football is in our area. The Sac Joaquin section touches some of the upper parts of Northern California all the way down into the 209. And we are rich. I'm talking wealthy in football talent, from names that go to massive D1 programs every year. It's always fun. It was always fun to cover signing day here in Sacramento for ABC 10. To players that could have their name up in lights in the National Football League one day, or just programs with rich history that always provide fun, competitive, engaging performances on Friday nights. You've got it everywhere around you. All you have to do is take the time to head out to your local high school on Friday night. But I think this is one of those sections, too, that if you call yourself a football fan, you should just look at the Oak Ridge schedule. Look at the Folsom schedule. Look at any team in the SFL schedule. Go down to St. Mary's. Go down to Lincoln High School. Go over to 12 Bridges. Pay attention. Circle a game. Go out there and check it out. You don't have to know anybody there, anybody on the team. Doesn't matter. Go and treat yourself to the high-quality high school football that we have here in the Sac Joaquin section. And truly, one of the hardest things about now being in radio and leaving ABC 10 is the fact that I will not be now obligated to be out there on the field every Friday night to watch high school football and to cover high school football. That doesn't mean I'm not going to still be out there at the sidelines very, very often. The coaching, the talent in this section is incredible. And like I mentioned, I got my guy Ramsey with me here today, filling in. Anthony still recovering from a little bit of an illness, so shout out you, Ramsey, for helping us out here on short notice this morning.
No problem at all whatsoever.
We're 2 weeks away, my man. 2 weeks from tonight. So next week you have a lot of kind of the practice games and
jamborees.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like I know the Grant Pacers are doing like the green and gold game. That's another. How did I not even mention? Go to Grant High School, the historic Grant High School, and watch some Grant Pacer football and tell me you're not fired up. I love watching Grant Pacer football. I'm going to miss covering them. Coach Reed and that team over there. But we are rich with talent. And Ramsey, it's fun because we're going into a season where a lot of the biggest names in the Sac Joaquin section, from Isaiah N.A. to, of course, the Ryder Lions up in Folsom. We have a lot of players. Nico down in Manteca, the power running back over there. Like, a lot of guys have graduated.
Exactly.
So now we're in like the next generation of names here in the Sac Joaquin section to keep an eye out on. And let me tell you, the parity in this section in general is pretty crazy. You're getting marquee matchups every week, and we're talking not just one or two of them. We're talking like 8 or 9 marquee matchups every week in the Sac Joaquin section.
And one other thing that I'll tell you not to sleep on either, and I finally got to witness it when Matt and I were out at the section championships last year as well. Don't sleep on the 8-man football game. That is a highly entertaining form of football that we have available. And the powerhouse in that won sections last year is back again. That's Mariloma High School and the Matadors. So they'll definitely be back. But as you were speaking, we've got athletes galore from whether it be from the Sacramento area, Stockton area. I mean, Matt and I were just talking about an article. Shout out to as we call him, the GOAT, the legend, Joe Davidson. He came out with an article yesterday talking about 20 returning quarterbacks in the Sacramento area. He also had one that was published today about the 20 returning running backs of the area. And the first running back on his list is not from Sacramento. You actually got to travel up to Sutter County. And he goes to Sutter High School in the name of Losi Asiata. The kid is a beast. He's humble. That Sutter team is one of, if not one of the most fundamentally sound football teams that I have seen when it comes to high school football. I saw them in South Sacramento Grove, whatever you want to call it, play against Bradshaw Christian. And that, to me, was one of the best games I saw all season last year when it came to a textbook football game. It was clean hitting, form tackling, and Sutter found a way to win that game. I saw Sutter honestly play 3 games. I saw them play that game, and I saw them play both games against Castle Roble. The game against Castle Roble last year, it was at Sutter, up past Yuba City. That game was a classic. I mean, shout out to quarterback that graduated from Castle Roble, Aiden Lopez. Got knocked out cold in the second quarter. Came back on the road, let Castle Roble do a win. We get back to Hughes Stadium for sections. Sutter got their lick back, and Sutter found a way to win the section championship against it. But as Matt was saying, Sacramento has teams, whether, like you said, Grant. Saturdays would be a great place to start. Now, hopefully their program is back on the upturn and upswing. Sac High on a Saturday afternoon is a great place to watch a high school football game.
The Dragons.
You can go, technically, however you want to call it, one side of the street is Sacramento, other side of the street is Elk Grove. The Monterey Trail Mustangs.
Yep.
They've got their running back that was listed in that same article, Nigel Flowers. I believe he's a sophomore or junior, so he still has time for you to view him in the Sacramento area.
Yeah.
He's quick, he's shifty, he's speedy, and in the offense that technically considered a wing T that Monterey Trail runs, he's dominant. Go down to Stockton. You've got, again, St. Mary's of Stockton, who's always a powerhouse of football. You got Lincoln at Stockton. Shout out to friend of the KCK station, Eric Crocker, Locked on 49ers podcast, is now the head coach at Edison of Stockton. Get out there. If you have patience and time and want to travel out to some of the what would be considered more rural areas, Sonora, powerhouse. One of the games that if you could make it to every year, Matt will attest to it, Houston and Escalon.
Oh, yeah.
One of the, doesn't matter what it is, one of the greatest high school football games you can get to. As he said, Manteca, powerhouse. You can even go further down. You've got Central Catholic and Modesto. You've got Downey of Modesto. All powerhouse teams. I mean, let's just start with some of the games first week, which is 2 weeks from now. Monterey Trail has to travel out to the Bay to play Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do is I was going to really quickly list out for those people that are listening going, okay, well, I'm going to check this out in a couple weeks. I got my Friday open because NFL season hasn't started yet. NBA season isn't starting for a while. Hey, where do I go? I mean, you can go up to Loomis, Downey versus Del Oro. Those are 2 ranked teams. You've got Vista Del Lago at Granite Bay. If you're in the Granite Bay area, Vista Del Lago, one of the schools in Folsom, near Folsom High School. The Eagles always try and put together a good group. Oakdale versus Sonora is a really, really big game. If you want to head down to the 209, this is a banger of a game. You've got Jesuit, the Marauders, taking on Lincoln of Stockton. That's a massive game for you to go and check out if you're in the Roseville, Rockland area. West Park and Roseville taking on Whitney in Rockland. That's a huge matchup between 2 really, really good programs. You've got the Roseville Tigers taking on the Antelope Titans. That's always a fun matchup between those 2 teams. Christian Brothers versus Pleasant Grove in Elk Grove is going to be a fire matchup for the first week of the season. You have Destiny Christian at Inderkum. If you've never been to an Inderkum Tigers game, that's a phenomenal environment over there. And if you're heading up to Auburn, you should head up to Auburn for this matchup. The Casa Roble Rams versus Placer up in Auburn. That is a massive matchup for you to go and check out. Again, I just fired off like 8 or 9 games right there, and that's the way it is every week. Just go to Max Preps, go to the Sac Joaquin section, and go to the schedule and just sift through every single week. I promise you, you're going to have a hard time choosing which game you want to go to because we're so stacked with talent here.
I mean, if those are on the stream, I'm holding it up real quick. I wrote out a list last night of potential games to go to each week, and I normally have 4 to 6 games on the list every week to go to. And what else is nice about high school football here in the Sacramento, not just this year, but in recent years, we have had teams from outside of the Sacramento area travel to our area to play mini teams.
Yep.
Week 2, case in point, we've got Mission Viejo, one of the many powerhouse teams in Southern California, is going to play on the blue turf against Folsom. That game is going to be a great game to check out. Weekend of Labor Day, Friday, September 4th. As Matt was speaking to, Grant High School, they are playing mini games, whether it be at home at Grant High School, which not just the game itself, just the entire environment of the Del Paso Heights community where I grew up at. It is a spectacle to see. You will enjoy it. They've got mini games of teams outside of the area. Case in point, it might be a little far for many of our listeners to travel to, but they start their season down in Fresno against one of the powers against Central East of Fresno.
Yep. Huge games for you to check out. We are way late for a break. We'll take it now. When we come back, let's talk about Malik Monk and why I feel he's being wrongfully written out of the Sacramento Kings' future. That's next on Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Sactownsports.com is your online home for sports in Sacramento. Dive deep into the Kings, 49ers, Raiders, Giants, Athletics, and more with your favorite local personalities and some of the most trusted sports voices in the community. Stream Sactown Sports 1140. Watch original video content and read in-depth analysis all in one location. Sactownsports.com. Your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Country in the Park 2, presented by your California Army National Guard. October 23rd at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Russell Dickerson. Plus more. Enjoy line dancing, live DJs, mechanical bull, and food trucks. Tickets start at just $70. Country in the Park 2, October 23rd at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Sky River Casino and Joe Got Wines. More info at CITPFest.com.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-909-4747. That's 800-909-4747. 800-909-4747.
The summer Silverado sell down. How does that sound? When you hear the details, it might sound even better. At Folsom Chevy, they're making it easy to get you into a new Silverado half-ton truck. And they know about trucks there. Folsom Chevy is truck country, and Chevy is the heartbeat of America. General Manager Eric Wilson and his team have put together a great deal that makes a lot of sense. They're offering $13,000 off MSRP on every Silverado 2026 half-ton in stock with the 5.3-liter engine. And there's more. 0% financing for 5 years. And there's more. No payments for 90 days, not to mention the lifetime warranty. It's worth a look at Folsom Chevy at the Folsom Auto Mall off Highway 50 between the Hazel and Folsom exits, or go to folsomchevy.com. From the mountains to the levee, think Folsom Chevy. Together, let's drive. Must finance with GM on approved credit. $16.67 per 1,000 financed. Cannot be combined with other offers. Ends August 30th, 2026.
Remember when a driving range was just a driving range? Yeah, Hagen Oaks doesn't remember either. Reserve one of 3 top Tracer bays from 6 to 11 p.m. at HagenOaks.com. Only 3 bays are reservable, while the rest of the range remains open for walk-ups. Play virtual golf, then grab food, drinks, and a seat in front of the TVs at the hangout. Throw in live music, and suddenly your quick stop at the range turns into hours of fun. Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Side effects may include laughter, bragging rights, and one friend insisting he would have won if the wind wasn't blowing.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports 1140, your local sports leader.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Can somebody explain to me why Malik Monk is just being basically written out of the Sacramento Kings' future? I don't understand it. It's never made sense to me. And I've reported on this. I've talked about this on podcasts, talked about this on the air before. It's been made pretty clear that Malik Monk is not a part, or Malik Monk's archetype of player is not where the league is going, right? These scoring 2 guards that aren't pure point guards, that don't exactly provide a ton on the defensive end of the floor, and who are on the smaller side. I mean, Malik's 6'3". It's not like he's tiny. But the league is trending away from this to more bigger physical guards that can play both sides of the floor and can handle the basketball. But Malik Monk's still such a damn good player, and I don't understand why it's felt like, really since De'Aaron Fox was traded, and I know De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk have always been connected. They're teammates at Kentucky, and Malik Monk came to Sacramento to play with De'Aaron Fox, and there is truly a lot of misinformation out there, but this is not what this segment is about De'Aaron Fox leaving and leaving Malik Monk and all this stuff. Like, that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm just talking about De'Aaron Fox's trade symbolized kind of the end of the Beam team as we know it. And obviously, from Beam Team 1 to where we're at today, it's been a pretty steady decline of the fun and joy and optimism around the Sacramento Kings. Now we're back to this position where, again, the Kings are expected to be one of the worst teams in the NBA. But it feels like Malik Monk is being talked about in the same decline, in the same vein as the Sacramento Kings in general. And I don't understand it. What I mean by that is, while Malik Monk, yes, is still here and has been a part of the Kings' decline,
I'm a pizza guy.
I don't really see Malik Monk declining in the same way, and don't understand why in many circles he's kind of being looked at as such. Since Scott Perry took over, it was pretty clear last summer, Scott's first summer, Malik Monk was on the trade block. It was very clear. And for the record, I know people always wanted, like, it's hard to separate business from personal. So it's not that Scott Perry doesn't like Malik Monk. It's never been that. It just has always appeared like where Scott Perry is trying to take the Sacramento Kings, Malik Monk hasn't necessarily fit in with that. Now, we heard Malik Monk's name being involved in trade talks all the way up through and into trade season last season, and then I reported that the Kings ended up kind of backing off on shopping Malik Monk. Don't know what kind of market he had. It was very clear last summer he didn't have that big of a market. A large part of that was because of his contract, which I personally think is not that bad of a contract by any means in the NBA. But I guess where the league is going and the also implementation of the apron system has made it so that Malik Monk has not been able or easy to move. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think we need to remember who Malik Monk is as a basketball player. And remember how good Malik Monk was in a role that is still needed and readily available for him in Sacramento. Malik Monk still got 2 years left on his deal, if I'm not mistaken. But the last year is a player option, which by all reasons to believe, Malik Monk is going to pick up that player option. He's owed $20 million this year, which if you want to call that an overpay, fine. It's not that bad considering the Kings have two $40+ million players. And then he has a $21.5 million player option next year. He's going to pick up that option. He should pick up that option. I don't think Malik Monk is going to get close to that money again. If you want to say the Kings are quote-unquote stuck with Malik Monk, I'm good with it. I'm fine with it. When Malik Monk was playing his best basketball, back-to-back seasons where Malik should have been the sixth man of the year, didn't win it either time. The second time was the biggest tragedy because they gave it to Naz Reid, who started half of the damn season, but they still gave him the award because he put up impressive numbers. I love Naz Reid's game. He's been very important for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Shout out Naz Reid. That's not what this is about, but Malik Monk deserved to win sixth man of the year at least once. He never did. He got elevated into a starting role that he wanted. Got to play a little bit next to De'Aaron Fox. Short term, it went good. People forget the first couple of weeks of Malik starting next to De'Aaron Fox, Malik played really well. Defensively, there were concerns, but De'Aaron could kind of handle a lot of those defensive responsibilities from the point guard position on a team that wasn't exactly good defensively anyway. It was when De'Aaron was traded and Malik stepped into the primary point guard role and didn't really play well. He struggled with that primary point guard role. I do not think Malik Monk should be at any point a primary point guard in this league. That's not who he is. But as a secondary ball handler and a creator, someone to come off the bench, back up Darius Acuff Jr., he can even play next to Darius Acuff Jr. That's what makes Malik Monk so special. He's a hybrid guard. You can put the ball in his hands and run a very effective pick and roll. With the Beam team, nobody was better at playmaking other than Domantas Sabonis than Malik Monk. People forget about that. Malik's distribution was insanely important for the Beam team years, in addition to the three-point shooting that he provided. Malik Monk averaged 5.1 assists in 23-24, 5.6 assists in 24-25, dropped down to 3 assists last year. 5 to 6 assists per game is very valuable from Malik Monk. And he did that not playing heavy minutes, not playing starter minutes. He did that just by playing his basketball off of the bench. Malik Monk is really good in the pick and roll, really effective in the pick and roll with Domantas Sabonis. I think Malik Monk could step into that. I'm not saying he's Russell Westbrook, but if you want a guard to play a really good, effective pick and roll with Maxime Reynaud to try and get Max to the same production that he was last season, his rookie year, why can't Malik Monk handle that role, especially considering Max is going to be likely coming off the bench and backing up Domantas Sabonis? Malik is a really talented player that I think is just being treated like an afterthought here in Sacramento. And I know we're in an era of transition. I know we're kind of in the midst of out with the old, in with the new. I know a lot of this season is, well, there's still some players here, like a Zach LaVine, for example. There are some players here that are going to be useful to the Kings now, but if the Kings have their way at the trade deadline or next summer, those guys are going to be gone. I think if you were to ask Scott Perry, pour truth serum into his mouth and force him to tell the truth, I think he would probably honestly tell you, if I could trade Malik Monk for value, I would do it in a heartbeat. Not that he doesn't like Malik Monk. Again, I just think for where he's trying to go and what he's looking for, Malik Monk doesn't fit into that mold, doesn't fit into that box. Well, he's still here, and he's still incredibly valuable, and he still provides something that you desperately need, which is ball handling, creation, and three-point shooting. I think we need to be, in a way, putting some respect on Malik Monk's name again. And I'm not trying to be unrealistic here. I'm not trying to say that Malik Monk can be right back in the sixth man of the year conversation next year. The Kings probably aren't going to be good enough for him to be in that conversation. But that doesn't mean you can't put him in the role. There are other young guys that are going to be sharing a position with Malik that are probably going to affect his playing time a little bit. Like, I don't want Malik Monk to play so much that Emmanuel Sharp doesn't get any playing time. But going into the season, as it stands right now, your starting backcourt is Darius Acuff Jr. and Zach LaVine. Malik Monk, in my opinion, is the first guard that should be off that bench. I don't care who the sixth man, quote unquote, is for the Kings. If you want to say it's Precious Achiuwa, assuming that Keegan Murray and DeAndre Hunter are going to start next to each other, which I think will be the case. If you want to say it's Precious Achiuwa, all right. If you want to say it's Maxime Reynaud or Dylan Cardwell, all right. But to me, it's a no-brainer that Malik Monk should be a part of the rotation. And we saw a lot last year that Doug Christie at times had to pick and choose. I'm either going to play Keon Ellis or I'm going to play Malik. I don't think he should do that again, even though Emmanuel Sharp is here. If Malik is here, he should be playing every single day. And bringing in Victor Oladipo, like I believe the Kings are going to do, it sure seems like the Kings are going to do it, should not change that. Victor Oladipo is not coming in here and taking minutes away from Malik Monk. I'm sorry, he's not. Oladipo, at his prime, was a better player than Malik Monk is. Sure, we're a long way away from Victor Oladipo's prime. So that should not have any effect on the conversation whatsoever. And as much as Emmanuel Sharp balled out in Summer League, and I'm fired up by Emmanuel Sharp's defense, I want to see him get playing time and do think he has a chance to crack the rotation. Emmanuel Sharp should not be threatening Malik Monk's minutes right away, in my opinion. I've never understood this, with the exception of mentoring Darius Acuff Jr. I've never understood this heavy focus on trying to find another backup point guard. You don't need to. Malik is here. Malik can handle those responsibilities. Malik's played his best basketball, not just in Sacramento, but in his career in that responsibility. I know Davion Mitchell was here, and you could quote-unquote call Davion Mitchell your backup point guard. Do we really want to pretend that Davion Mitchell was more of a ball handler than Malik Monk was for that Beam team? Anyone? Then Davion Mitchell was gone. Keon Ellis was getting more playing time. Keon Ellis was a strict two-guard. Guess who was handling the basketball off the bench? Malik Monk. And it was the best basketball he's ever played at the time where the Sacramento Kings were winning their most games. Mike Brown said it, and I completely agree with him. If Malik Monk doesn't go down with that injury, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Luka Doncic that fell on him. Yeah, Luka fell on his leg. It was not dirty, but Luka just fell on him. If Malik Monk doesn't go down with that injury, Beam Team 2 year, the Kings probably make it out of the play-in and into the playoffs. Who knows what happens then? They probably lose in the first round. I don't know. Who cares? It's revisionist history. But Malik has been one of the most important players in Sacramento over the last 4 or 5 years, and that does not have to change. It shouldn't change. And the thing is, Doug Christie was here the entire time. Scott Perry might not have been. Malik Monk might not be a quote-unquote Scott Perry guy. He might not fit all of the pillars. Someone tell me this. Why does Darius Acuff Jr. fit the pillars of Scott and Malik Monk doesn't? I'm curious. Darius Acuff Jr. doesn't play defense, or at least didn't at the college level. You're hoping he can. Neither does Malik Monk. Okay, is it personality-based? Malik Monk is a lot louder than Darius Acuff Jr., but Malik Monk walks around with a swagger, walks around with a confidence. We've heard nothing over the years except for teammates talking about how essential a personality like Malik Monk is in that locker room. Malik Monk relished the role of kind of being a leader and being a mentor for some of the younger guys in Sacramento. I don't necessarily need Malik Monk to be the primary mentor for Darius Acuff Jr. I still think Domantas Sabonis should probably play that role, considering on the court, those are the two that I expect to spend the most time together. But Malik Monk, in my opinion, absolutely is someone who Darius Acuff Jr. could benefit learning from, playing with, and then having pick up the energy and keep the energy going when Acuff gets out of the game. That's Malik's superpower, y'all. I used to call him the Energizer Bunny of the Beam team, right? Because he backed up De'Aaron Fox. Fox was the fastest guard in the NBA. Still probably is. Fastest dude in the NBA that defenses had to worry about constantly. De'Aaron would come out of the game and the energy would pick up from Malik, not because Malik was faster than De'Aaron, but because of how Malik played. right? Do you remember being in the Golden One Center during Beam Team when Malik would check into the game? Tell me you didn't lean forward because Malik was about to do something. Why can he not still be that? What has Malik Monk shown us at all to suggest that has changed? Nothing. The circumstances of the Kings have changed. The guy leading the front office has changed. Malik Monk has not changed. The only thing that has changed is given Malik the opportunity to be himself. Malik Monk and Mike Brown did not always see eye to eye. In fact, Malik Monk is probably partially responsible for the group that did not necessarily want Mike Brown around long term. However, Malik always, the credit he gave Mike Brown is not that Mike taught him how to do anything. It's just that Mike put him in the position to succeed. We know what Malik Monk is. And we know the Kings need it. The Kings need what Malik provides. And listen, if Emmanuel Sharp comes in and beats him for the job, hell yeah, Emmanuel Sharp. That would fire me up. If Victor Oladipo came in and took the job from Malik Monk, I'd be a little more worried about Malik in that circumstance than I would be hyped up by Victor Oladipo. But so be it. But when we're looking through the Sacramento Kings roster and sifting through the question marks of the Sacramento Kings roster, I should not and do not have any questions about Malik. I don't, other than is he going to get the opportunity to be himself or not? I know exactly who Malik Monk is. And at a time where the Kings are searching for an identity, having guys who you know who they are and how they play and what they're going to bring on a nightly basis, those guys are valuable, even if they don't fully fit your identity or that picture-perfect box that you're trying to establish this year. The majority of your roster doesn't, or at least has to prove that they do. And I don't believe that Malik Monk stands out so much as someone who would not fit the identity of the Sacramento Kings. You want someone who's going to fight? You want someone who's going to play hard with a chip on their shoulder? Malik's been doing that for years. If anybody got pushed around, who's the first guy running into the huddle, running into the scrum? It's Malik. Malik's the one, John. He's always been that guy. So he checks the fight box for Doug Christie. Maybe he doesn't check the defense box. Neither does half the freaking roster. Offensively, the energy that he plays with, the ball movement, the pick and roll, the two-man game with some of your bigs, Malik does all that. Your three-point shooting that you were dead last in last season, you were dead last in three-point attempts, second to last in three-point shooting percentage. Malik Monk provides some of that. Is he your best three-point shooter on the team? No, but he can hit that shot and take it with confidence. And when he gets hot, we know when Malik gets hot.
I mean, I've got two for you, Matt, that people still remember Malik Monk. Speaking of getting hot, 176 to 175 against the Clippers, Beam Team year when he had his career high. Mm-hmm. And let us all not forget about the NBA Cup game against the Warriors when the Kings came back from being 24 down.
Yep.
And Malik hit the whatever you want to call it runner to win the game. And remember the pop the Golden One Center had when he hit the shot to get the Kings the lead and win the game.
He provides you energy. He provides a boost. He's someone that I feel can play with anybody on the roster. Defensively, he's going to have his troubles. If he's not hitting the three, he's going to struggle a little bit. He might sometimes do a little bit too much. Oh boy, did I just describe Russell Westbrook to a T? Now listen, everybody's going to roll their eyes and maybe someone just pulled their car over to spit take out the window. I'm not saying that Malik Monk is Russell Westbrook. Malik Monk can play a similar role to what Russell Westbrook played last year, and some people are going to think that's a bad thing. Hear me out. I'm not talking about taking a ton of shots. I'm talking about being the guy that every single time we'd ask Doug Christie about him after the game, he'd say, man, I love the fact that I have someone in Russell Westbrook who plays hard every single night. Is Malik Monk not that dude? Well, Malik might take some plays off on defense, Matt. Didn't Russell Westbrook do the same thing? Doesn't Zach LaVine do the same thing? I just don't understand why it feels like Malik is such an afterthought here. And I don't get it. It shouldn't be that way. It doesn't make sense. Malik is not a negative value asset. If you can't trade him, oh well. He's not a $48 million contract. We don't have to talk about him the same way. The Kings are not stuck with Malik Monk. The Kings have Malik Monk on their roster. They have a capable scorer, 6th man of the year candidate on their roster. Boo-hoo. Of all the things to be worried about with the Kings, Malik Monk is certainly not one of them in my mind. And I hope that he's not wasted here in Sacramento. I hope the Kings take advantage of what he brings because it'll help them win basketball games and avoid the freaking relegation zone. We'll take the break. When we come back, speaking of local football, we just talked a lot about high school football. I want to talk a little college, though. I want to know. I'm throwing it out there. YouTube comment section. Call in 916-339-1140. Talk to me. Let me know. How excited are you for college football season here in the 916? And I'm not just talking about Sac State being in the MAC, although that's a big part of it. We'll talk about that before pick a side. Brendan Nunez joins me in studio starting at noon for the final 2 hours of the show. We have plenty of hoops to talk about when he gets in. It's Matt and Kayla, but no Kayla on a Friday here on Sactown Sports.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
SactownSports.com is your online home for sports in Sacramento. Dive deep into the Kings, 49ers, Raiders, Giants, Athletics, and more with your favorite local personalities and some of the most trusted sports voices in the community. Stream Sactown Sports 1140. Watch original video content and read in-depth analysis all in one location. SactownSports.com. Your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
Your dog is limping, but she seems fine. Plus, you've heard they can fake it just to get what they want. So what's the deal now? You're being gaslit.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Oh, now she switched legs. What a diva.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
At Big O, we offer total auto care to make any car problem feel like no problem at all. We keep the scary lights off and help you get back on the road. Now through August 31st, during our High Temps Low Prices sales event, receive $80 to $120 in instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nexen, Nitto, or Sumitomo tires with installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation required. Disposal fees and shop fees extra were permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is, what makes us different from other law firms?
At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to the end.
Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether it must go into litigation, or whether it has to go all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve.
When you get an injury, just call Gingery.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown, 411 16th Street, and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action, but please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-
matchups that I'll pay attention to when Joe Burrow and the LSU Tigers were much must-watch television, right? It's like there's those stories. There's as a kid knowing, okay, I don't know what this game is about, but I got to watch the Rose Bowl between Texas and USC, right? There's those moments in college football that are so big, even the casualist of casual fans has to pay attention. But it also doesn't help that I never attended a college that had a football program. For those who don't know, I went to Jessup University in Rockland, which is a private Christian school. Really good athletics program over there. But they did not have football. So if I had gone to Ohio State, if I had gone to Alabama, if I had gone somewhere where college football is life, I undoubtedly would have gotten hooked. There's no question in my mind. That's one of my goals to do at some point in life is to almost do like a college football road trip and to go to the big house, watch a Michigan game, go experience an environment like Penn State or Ohio State, go up to Oregon to watch a Ducks game. I am a live, in-person venue type of fan. I want to be there and feel the energy. I will always choose to be somewhere in person rather than watch it on TV at home. But growing up in Sacramento, no disrespect to Stanford, no disrespect to Cal, I just didn't care about college football. My mom was a Sac State alum, but even so, we weren't going to see Sac State football games. It just never appealed to me. And as I've grown in my career, especially going into television, having to pay attention more to local college football gave me a big appreciation for what Tim Plow and UC Davis, their football program that has had tremendous amounts of success recently across the causeway there in Davis. It's a great environment, very familiar environment too. If you go to a lot of Kings games, you'll find yourself right at home at a UC Davis game. Why? Because Scott Moak is their PA announcer there too. So to hear Scott Moak's voice at a football game is pretty fun. And then there's all this curiosity about Sac State in the MAC, right? And I'm not going to lie to you, and I hope hope Coach Carter is not listening. When Sac State first went to the MAC, I'm not going to lie to you, y'all. I was rolling my eyes because it just felt so weird. It felt so out of place. And it wasn't just that they went to the MAC. It was like the build-up and all the talking at Sac State and the new stadium, this and that. And I know I'm not alone in this, right? And I don't mean to say this at all to disparage Sac State football. I am very, very curious. And that curiosity has translated into excitement. I want to see what Sac State looks like in the MAC. I'm sure as heck going to be listening to Jason Ross calling the games on the radio at times, but I want to see what it looks like. I want to go to Sac State's first MAC game at home and see the improvements that they've made to Hornet Stadium, which is a great environment, by the way. I don't want to just see how Sac State football fares in the MAC. I don't want to see how competitive they are, because I believe absolutely that Sac State can be competitive. I want to see how the city responds to it. I want to see the crowds. I want to see the energy. I want to see the tailgate. I don't want to just see the dorms at Sac State be empty because all the students are there. I want to see if there's a community member that has no ties to Sac State whatsoever, whether you're a transplant or you've lived here in Sacramento and just said, I'm going to go and watch Sac State football. That's what I want to see. I want to see if the city rallies around it and responds to it, that we know this city is capable of responding to sports. Right? It's what makes our city so special, how we treat and how we love the Sacramento Kings. The response when the Sacramento Republic FC first played at Hughes Stadium, right? And then their inaugural season when they won the USL Cup. When this city latches onto something and believes in something, we can support it like nobody else. Is Sac State going to get that response? I know they're trying to. You see their billboards everywhere, their commercials everywhere, the hype everywhere. Do you care? Are you locked in? Are you ready, even if you didn't attend Sac State, to represent Sac State because they represent our city? They are the college program that represents our city. And then all to my UC Davis Aggie fans, are you heading across the causeway to sell out UC Davis Aggies games? Because your team is damn good. They've been damn good. Last season, where did they go? I think they were 9-3 overall, 6-2 in the Big Sky, went on an FCS playoff run. I know Sac State's making big moves in the MAC, but do not sleep on UC Davis Aggie football. How locked in are we as a city, as a fan base, in our local college football teams? Because I would argue maybe it's never been a better time to jump on a college football bandwagon in the 916, Ramsey.
Exactly. And I mean, speaking of Sac State, one of the games I'm hoping I can get to it, there might be some other things going on. On September 19th, Saturday, September 19th, Sac State will be hosting one of the former FCS, and now they're in jump to FBS like Sac State did, powerhouses in North Dakota State. Mm-hmm. I want to see what that game is going to look like as an example. Green against green at Hornet Field. I mean, I've been to a few Sac State games over the past few years. One of the games I went to, I believe it was their playoff game a couple years ago that they lost in overtime with Troy Taylor. I believe it was Incarnate Word where it was like 69-66 or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I was there for
shootout.
that.
That was a crazy game.
The game was crazy, but it was high level entertainment.
Yeah.
And as Matt's saying, UC Davis for the FBS, maybe in potentially the best conference in the country. I mean, they have to go there, or I apologize, they don't actually play them yet this year, but they have in their conference the defending national champion, Montana State Bobcats. Their Montana State's rival, the Montana Grizzlies, come here to UC Davis on Saturday, September 26th. They're always a powerhouse. The Big Sky, if you are looking for football to lock into, is a great place to start. And I understand where Matt was prefacing at the beginning of the segment. I am fortunate enough to say that I went to a major university. I went to Arizona State University. So I know what a college football Saturday feels like. And this was back when it was still the Pac-10.
Right.
But I went to every game when I was at ASU, and it's fun. The one discussion that we get into, that I've got into with many people, when it comes to college football, which the West Coast, as much as I love the West Coast, college football is regional. And on the West Coast, we don't gravitate as much to college football as the Midwest.
Yep.
As some of the East Coast, and definitely as the South. Granted, those areas that I just mentioned many times have the powerhouses, and with the Big Ten, they've had multiple national champions, so you can gravitate towards that. But we've got great college football out here on the West Coast, starting with UC Davis and Sac State, and you can, from there, pick and choose, start what people consider small, and then go larger. I mean, I know it's lost some of its luster because of all the conference realignments, conference changes. I get all that, with Cal and Stanford being ACC. some of the Southern California schools being Big Ten, or if we go up north, as you said, to Autzen Stadium, and further north to Seattle, those are Big Ten teams, which none of us here on the West Coast would ever fathom, because it's still a travesty to my heart that the Pac-10/Pac-12 was broken up, but it's made it to where it's slightly more like dispersed, and potentially a little hard to get to. I understand that. But start at a smaller level here with Sac State and UC Davis and go from there when it comes to college football. It's great competition, and we've got two great teams in the area.
Manny Too Legit asks or says, never been to a Sac State game. Are they free? No, Sac State games are not free, but they are very affordable, or at least they have been. And I would hope that they would stay that way, even with the jump to the MAC. And that's what I'm very curious about is Sac State 2 weeks from tomorrow opens up their season, and they open up with a conference game. They'll be playing a MAC opponent at Eastern Michigan. Their first home game is Saturday, September 5th, but it's not a conference game. It's against Mississippi Valley State. The first home conference game that Sac State has will be at the end of September, Saturday, September 26th versus Massachusetts. That is one of those games where, I mean, in my mind, I got to get out there. But that's where I want to see the response. When Ramsey and I were talking about high school football last hour, one of the comments that I see a lot, and I saw it in our comment section while we were talking high school football. Man, if Sac State and UC Davis could get the best of our section to play for them rather than going off to Cal or BYU in the case of Rider Lions, or even we've had guys go to Clemson. We've had guys go all over the country, Alabama, Ohio State, Virginia, right? Like, if we could keep our talent here in Sacramento, Sac State could be a powerhouse. I agree with that completely. I know a lot of that has to do with the prestige of the team, the prestige of the conference, NIL money. There's a lot more around it now than there ever has been before, which God bless not just Alonzo Carter and Tim Plow. God bless coaches, programs. It's the Wild West right now of how to not just put and recruit players, but keep teams together. I can't even imagine. That being said, and I know a lot of that has turned people off to college football.
College sports in general.
Correct. But also, you know what will help a star from Folsom High School to want to play at Sac State? You know what will help a star from St. Mary's in Stockton? If they go to a Sac State game when they're being recruited and they're invited to tour the campus and be in the sidelines and watch a Sac State game, and they walk into a stadium that is freaking rocking the way Sacramento can, will we be able to rival the numbers of like the Big House in Michigan and Penn State and stuff? No, of course we can't. But we got our own unique energy. We got our own unique vibe. What's special about Sacramento over any other sports city? And it's funny, the amount of times you will hear, especially professional basketball players, come to Sacramento and talk about how the environment here reminds them of their college. De'Aaron Fox used to talk about Sacramento feels just like Kentucky. Tyrese Halliburton used to talk about it as well with Iowa. Like Iowa State, right? Yeah, Iowa State. Iowa's Keegan. Our energy and our support as a city and how much we love our local sports is what separates us, what makes us unique. So NIL money and everything like that, and the new stadium that Sac State is trying to build and all that, that's all very, very important. And I believe that Sac State is using the MAC as a stepladder to eventually get into the Pac-12 or like a closer conference. But right now, we as a city, we as a fan base, can start the process of building our own college football juggernaut here, whether it's at UC Davis or at Sac State, especially now that they're FBS, by filling those stands and bringing an energy to those games, even if you're not a Sac State alum. or have anybody who attends Sac State or have anybody who's a Hornet that played at your high school or anything like that. Just go out and support it. I really want to see what the energy is like at those early games, and can that energy be maintained throughout the season into the colder months, and depending upon how Sac State performs into potentially playoffs and beyond when we get to those points. That's our superpower, and I want to see if it latches onto college football here like it's happened for the NBA and other teams. We'll take the break. When we come back, it's time to pick a side. We'll talk about the Field of Dreams game last night and a special jersey retirement happening this season in the NBA. It's next right here on Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Football is back.
This is Sactown, baby!
And Sactown Sports 1140 is your home for primetime NFL games this season.
This is Kevin Harlan of Westwood One. Catch all the NFL primetime action.
Catch Monday, Thursday, and Sunday night football, international games, the NFL playoffs, and the Super Bowl right here on Sactown Sports all season long. Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Maida Subaru says yes to big savings on the new Subaru you want during the Subaru A Lot to Love event on now. Visit MaidaSubaru.com today for special Labor Day savings on over 225 new and certified pre-owned Subarus.
Made a great deal at Maida.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-375-2322. 800-375-2322. 800-375-2322.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave.
What's up? It's Matt George.
What's good? It's Alan Stiles.
With the most trusted voices in the community.
This is Jason Ross.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson.
It's Whitey Gleason.
Ready to help promote your business, both as partners and customers. All you have to do is ask. Pick up the phone, dial pound 250 and say, grow my business to get connected with a team member today. That's pound 250 and say, grow my business. Our team will review your product, quickly pair you with a perfect endorser, and create video and audio samples, all at no cost or obligation to you. With the most live and local on-air lineup, a dynamic content-driven website, and a state-of-the-art mobile app, Sactown Sports 1140 is tailor-made to help you connect with a sports audience in Sacramento. So why wait? Dial pound 250 today. Say, grow my business, and let us help take you to the next level. Pick a side, any side. It's time for Pick a Side on Matt and Kayla.
No Kayla Anderson today. She's enjoying a well-deserved 3-day weekend. I think she's got some friends in town that she's introducing to Sacramento. Hope she shows them around and shows us the best of what we have to offer. Unfortunately, there's not like a Kings game on or something for her to take them to. But the show goes on. without her. And we got Ramsey here to help me out with Pick a Side today. So let's get it started. Ramsey, pick a side. Topic number 1.
The Field of Dreams game last night in Iowa had a sold-out crowd of approximately 8,000 people who got tickets via a lottery system. Resale tickets to that game started at approximately $540 to $850.
$650.
Or $650, I apologize. Premium seating ranged from approximately $1,600 to $4,000. Is this game even remotely worth the price?
Now, listen, I know some people have the income to be able to just drop $4,000 on an experience like a kind of intimate, cool, visual Field of Dreams baseball game. Those ticket prices are absurd. I'm not surprised by them at all when you have limited value and for something that is kind of gimmicky in Field of Dreams, but pulls at the heartstrings of a lot of people who, of course, love the Field of Dreams movie. You're going to get a good response. I wasn't surprised to see it sold out. I wasn't surprised to see the crowd. I paid very little attention, if I'm being completely honest with you, to the Field of Dreams game. I was too busy watching preseason football. But the visuals look great. I don't know. I would love to go to the Field of Dreams game if I could cover it. And if the A's played in it, and we're talking like a great A's team, maybe I'd consider dropping like $540, maybe at the most. But even then, that would be one of the most expensive tickets I've ever paid for personally. I don't think it's worth it. It's cool. It's not for me. I think that's way too expensive for a Field of Dreams game.
Me personally, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I wouldn't drop that much money. I understand it's a unique experience. The price, the large premium seating pricing, that type of money I consider if it was a playoff game or a World Series game, which I have been fortunate enough to attend a World Series game. But for unique, I get it. And the two, I don't want to say drawbacks, but slight turnoffs for me. One, it was being streamed on Netflix. It wasn't found on one of the major networks, whether it be ESPN or they could have put the game on NBC as one of their new networks. And two, no disrespect to either team. I know the Phillies are in the race. The Twins are trying to be in the race. But those two teams aren't appealing to the masses as, say, if it was in even interleague. Not saying they would Cubs Yankees. Let's go Red Sox Cubs. Red Sox Dodgers. If it was two potentially more nationally appealing teams, I understand logistics, things of that nature. But the matchup wasn't as appealing as it should have been. Great game. Kyle Schwarber did what he did.
Yes, he did.
And hit two tanks like he always does.
Into the corn.
Into the corn. It's a great scene, great feeling. But the matchup wasn't as appealing as it should have been at this point in the season.
All right, next topic, also having to do with the Field of Dreams game.
26 Hall of Famers emerged from the corn at the Field of Dreams game. Was it cool or was it corny?
I wanted so bad to enjoy it because they're paying homage to the movie. It's certainly not my favorite baseball movie of all time, but to a lot of people, it has like a cult following. It is the greatest baseball movie of all time. If that's you, great. I'm not trying to poo-poo on the magical scene that is all the ghosts emerging from the corn during Field of Dreams, but it's gimmicky. It's silly. It's cool to see some of these names walk out there, and it's cool that if you're there to see all these legends in one place, and to witness it in person probably was kind of cool and gave you chills, and if you got a recording of it on your cell phone. But just watching it online, it's just gimmicky to me. It's corny. I don't know. It wasn't as powerful as I think it's supposed to be. But it's cool to see so many legends of the baseball world in one place.
I agree. And personally, again, like I said, with it being on Netflix, I was covering in studio the preseason football game. So I personally didn't even have access to Netflix. I just saw highlights. If I was there, I probably would have enjoyed it much more. But
sure.
I mean, for me, it did what it did. I understand the thought process and the premise.
It looked cool. It looked like a halftime show, basically. It was like, oh, that's a cool social media clip. Anyway, next. That's pretty much what it was to me.
Kevin Garnett's number 21 will be retired by the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Love this.
February 28th, 2027 against the Boston Celtics.
Love that.
Why did it take so long?
That's what I want to know. How in the world, like Kevin Garnett's 21 is just now being retired in Minnesota? You think the Minnesota Timberwolves, Kevin Garnett is the first name that comes to mind. The only one that can threaten that is probably Anthony Edwards, but he ain't there yet. He's getting close.
And a third would be Kevin Love.
Yeah, Kevin Love, like young Kevin Love, but he didn't win a title until he went to Cleveland. So I would argue some people know Kevin Love more for his time in Cleveland than when he was a rebounding beast in Minnesota.
Yeah, and a fourth, I apologize, would be Stephon Marbury before he went over to China with the duo of him and KG together.
KG was a beast. Young KG meeting the Kings in the playoffs. Man, dude was nasty. Plus one of the best trash talkers the game has ever seen. Kevin Garnett is an absolute legend in Minnesota. I'm just surprised. When I saw that this was going to happen, my first reaction was awesome, good, it's great, and I love the fact they're doing it against the Celtics. Brilliant, because of course KG won a title with the Celtics. And then my immediate reaction was, wait, how is it 2026 and this hasn't been done yet? I can't even imagine how crazy that ticket's going to be. That ticket's going to be nuts.
It will be, a pun on his nickname, a big ticket.
Yeah.
And for me, straight out of Chicago, Kevin Garnett was a dog, was a beast, and ironically enough, they're retiring his jersey with the rebrand of the Timberwolves jerseys, which look very similar to when KG first got in the league.
I'm glad they're going back to those.
Yeah, and I mean that, and I've always liked their black jerseys as well from Minnesota, but it's long overdue. Yeah, like you said, when you talk Minnesota Timberwolves, you talk Kevin Garnett. That's the first end all be all. While unfortunately he didn't have a chance to bring a championship to Minnesota outside of now Ant-Man. Mm-hmm. That's the first name you think of when you think of Minnesota Timberwolves basketball.
Greatest T-Wolf of all time. We'll take the break. When we come back, second half of the show, Brendan Nunez from Sactown Sports will be with me. Let's talk about the schedule that dropped yesterday with Brendan a little bit. The beginning of the schedule, I don't know if I should call it favorable, but it presents a lot of opportunity for the Sacramento Kings at a time where if they take advantage of it, hey, maybe, just maybe, the trade deadline could be really beneficial for them. We'll talk about that with Brendan Nunez next, in addition to Draymond Green weighing in on the Kawhi Leonard investigation and Tyrese Halliburton feeling disrespected by the schedule. It's all over the next 2 hours of the show on a Friday here on Sactown Sports.
SactownSports.com is your online home for sports in Sacramento. Dive deep into the Kings, 49ers, Raiders, Giants, Athletics, and more with your favorite local personalities and some of the most trusted sports voices in the community. Stream Sactown Sports 1140. Watch original video content and read in-depth analysis all in one location. SactownSports.com. Your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Hi, this is Adam Johnson, owner of Golf Fitness Solutions. Exercise and golf have been two important activities in my life. I opened Golf Fitness Solutions in 2013 to help my fellow golf enthusiasts improve their posture, relieve their pain, gain strength and endurance, and most importantly, hit the ball farther. From beginners to professionals, I've had success working with all ages and all skill levels, and I can help you too. Located in Carmichael, call us at 916-802-5175 or go to golffitnesssolutions.com.
Whether it's date night, family night, or buddy night, Hagen Oaks has a bay for you. Reserve one of 3 Top Tracer bays from 6 to 11 p.m. through HagenOaks.com, and only those 3 bays are reservable. The rest of the driving range is still open for walk-ups. Play golf on world-famous courses while the kids try interactive games. Head to the Hangout for great food, cold drinks, and live sports on the TVs. Add monthly live music and putting tournaments, and you've got more than a driving range, you've got a night out. Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Swing by and swing away.
This Green and Gold Injury Report is brought to you by the law firm at Gingery, Hammer, and Associates. If you get in an injury, just call Gingery. Zach Geloff started his rehab assignment in Las Vegas, coming off his knee injury, going 3 for 10 with a home run in Las Vegas. Jeffrey Spring went on the 15-day IL for right hip discomfort, though the MRI was negative for any acute injury. Nick Kurtz received an ultrasound-guided injection on his right thumb. No timeline has been announced on his return to the Green and Gold.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is, what makes us different from other law firms?
At Gingery, Hammer, and Associates, we handle your case from beginning to the end.
Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether it must go into litigation, or whether it has to go all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve.
When you get an injury, just call Gingery.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports 1140, your local sports leader. It's time for the lunch break. Your calls, your thoughts, your segment. Call or text us at 916-339-1140. It's the lunch break on Matt and Kayla.
Ladies and gentlemen, reinforcements have arrived. Shout out to my friend, Sactown Sports' own Brendan Nunez, hopping in studio with me for the next 2 hours. Brendan, you did this to bail my ass out when I was out sick for a week, helping Kayla out. Now you're helping me out. We appreciate it. One of the workhorses of Sactown Sports. During this dry time of the year, we're in August, football season's about to start, but we got our Kings schedule. We got our Kings schedule. You know what your life is going to look like from October 21st, really early October because you're all over, and even September because you're all over training camp, to April 11th, probably not beyond that. You know what your life is going to look like now with this schedule dropping.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on, Matt. Glad to be here with you. It was really funny when the schedule dropped because I just looked at it like I did a takeaways article on it yesterday, right? So I'm looking at it straight from a Kings standpoint and everything. And then later in the day, I'm kind of talking to my girlfriend a little bit, and I'm like, you know what? I should re-look at this schedule from my life standpoint.
Yeah, plan your life.
Yeah. I was like, this kind of matters, actually. Like New Year's, they play on New Year's Eve.
Yep.
We have a day before and after and the day of Christmas that they're not playing, and
that's nice.
Random things like this. But from a Kings perspective, it felt like the schedule got more difficult as it went on. Like the first, 7 games or so that they play in October, kind of whatever, nothing too crazy. But November, extremely home heavy. 11 of their 14 games are home games in November. And then you eventually reach a little bit further on. They're not difficult games necessarily either. They're hosting the Lakers, Spurs. Those are not great. Heat, Magic, Blazers, Thunder, Suns. Again, all relative to what's a bad Kings team. I think that I've done the exercise a few times. There's probably about 3 teams that I think the Kings will be favored going into on any given night. Three to maybe 5 if we're feeling kind. So none of the parts of the schedule are going to feel particularly easy. But relative to the rest, I thought that's one of the first things that stood out to me. A very home-heavy November, and then you reach January, and it's just like, oh, they're on the road the entire time. It's one of their 2 5-game road trips, which is the longest they have. That doesn't feel that bad to me.
No, not too bad.
But they have a couple of them. I think they play 5 games in 7 nights during that road trip as well.
Yeesh.
So a little bit of a tough stretch.
That's that 0-5 road trip. At Lakers, at Denver, at Philly, at Washington, at Detroit. That's 0-5 for me, dog.
Yeah, they play OKC on a back-to-back, New York on a back-to-back, Portland on a back-to-back, Milwaukee on a back-to-back. That's fine. And then Washington on the second night of it. Those are all second night of a back-to-backs, only during January.
Goodness gracious.
But, Matt, I'm curious how you stand, but I definitely subscribe to, guess what? They play all their division teams 4 times, and they play every team in the East twice.
Yep.
Like, it's kind of the same thing every year.
Right.
There are some complications. I remember a road trip last year where they're in, what was it, like Atlanta, and then they go to Toronto and then Miami, and everybody's like, this is horrible travel. And like, sure, that sucks. There's going to be some scheduled losses, quote unquote, here and there.
Yep.
But it's the same thing every year. You're playing all the other teams.
Pretty much. And listen, the Kings are not a team that we can, with any kind of confidence, go. I know it's fun to do as an exercise. Go game 1 through 82 and write down W or L next to it, right? It's a fun thing to do to kill time in the middle of the offseason, but there's just so much that we don't know about the Kings team to really say anything with any sort of confidence other than looking at opportunities. That's one of the things I wanted to talk to you is the opportunity that the early part of the season presents for the Sacramento Kings. First and foremost, I made a big mistake as a husband yesterday because I made the mistake of telling my wife that I was very disappointed in, once again, our choice of the dates to go to Disneyland. We're once again doing...
Is this an annual trip?
Well, it's becoming it.
Okay.
This is the second year in a row that we're doing Disneyland during Thanksgiving week because we have to build everything around my wife's teacher schedule. Like, we just have to. So we're going Thanksgiving week to Disneyland. Last year, the Kings went 2-0 during my trip to Disneyland, and they had that banger of a win against the Minnesota Timberwolves in Sacramento that I missed. And Dylan Cardwell even talked about how I should just leave town more often because the Kings played better. This year, damn it, I'm missing the Boston Celtics followed by the San Antonio Spurs in Sacramento.
Oof.
If they go 2-0 in those games, I'm staying in Disneyland.
Matt, I'll tell you right now, they are not going 2-0 in those games.
If they do, Brendan, you'll never see me again. You'll never see me again because I'll be pissed. But I'll be paying attention to those games really closely. But thankfully, that's the second San Antonio Spurs matchup because we'll have the Spurs to open up NBA Cup group play early on. But looking at this schedule, it's weird because like 5 of the first 7 games of the season, the Kings start are on the road.
Yep.
5 of the final 7 games of the season, the Kings are on the road. So they start with kind of those weird stretches at the beginning and the end of the year. But that home-heavy month of November, I think, presents a lot of opportunity. The Kings were dreadful on the road last year. I think they had like 7 or 8 total wins on the road last year. I'm not expecting them to be good on the road again. I'm not expecting them to be really good, period. But we know how much Doug Christie preaches protecting your home court. Right? And we know how many individual motivations there are for guys like Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis coming into this season. Does the early home-heavy schedule at a time where we're expecting the veterans probably to play more to start the year present an opportunity for Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis specifically to increase their trade value? That's what I'm not looking at, try and jump on San Antonio early before they become the Spurs. I'm not talking about that.
Right.
I'm just simply talking about a lot of home games, a lot of opportunities against some good teams, some bad teams for Zach LaVine to play his way into a position where somebody at the trade deadline will take a flyer on him and give up value for him. That's what I'm talking about.
Last year, Matt, they were, to your point, 7-34 on the road. Sacramento Kings last year. They won 22 games total, right? 7 of those on the road. 15-26 at home.
That's not good, but it's better.
Relative to the 7-34?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Doug Christie wants that to be like 500 minimum. He hates losing at home. And even Dylan Cardwell said something about it at Summer League, did he not? During the California Classic, I think he said something along the lines of, we're not getting punked on our home floor anymore. All right.
I don't have that much faith in it, to be honest with you, but I do think it is an opportunity for these guys to grow some comfort, right? You mentioned Domas and Zach. I think a little bit about Darius Acuff because I'm like, okay, you're the one adjusting to the league, right? And he's very much getting handed the keys. I'm curious to see how his growth is going to go. And the fact that in November, I counted yesterday, they have 29 days where they do not leave the state of California.
That's great.
They have 3 road games in November. 2 of them are the Lakers and the Warriors.
Yeah.
29 straight days they will not be leaving California.
Those are the NBA Cup games, are they
and
not?
they are both NBA Cup games.
The furthest they're traveling during the NBA Cup is LA.
That is, which is crazy. I mean, I would say good luck, I guess, for them overall on the schedule. But for sure an opportunity for somebody like Zach and Domas to rekindle some of that value. Domas played, 19 games last year? He had never played less than 64. Like, I think that last year is certainly an outlier. At the current stage, it 100% is an outlier, and that makes it easy for people to forget that, hey, this is a pretty impactful player.
Yeah.
Might be complicated to fit on other rosters and figure out who he's going to optimize, who he will be complementary to, and things like that. How much do you want to run his dribble, handoff heavy offense? Might be a little complicated for some teams to figure out, but he's a damn good player. And then Zach LaVine, this is a guy that can put up 25 points on 50, 40, 90. He's done it before, maybe not quite the 90 part, but the 50, 40 for sure. He's a highly efficient player. I would not be surprised. And if anything, if you made me guess, I would probably say that I think Zach LaVine's going to be the best player on the Kings this year. Like, I think that how long he's going to be there.
You're paying him to be.
Exactly.
I just hope he doesn't take such a high volume of shots that Darius Acuff Jr. doesn't keep up, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to see on a stat sheet consistently 21 shots for LaVine and 16 shots for Acuff. We got to find that balance.
Yeah, I don't hate that split necessarily. If there's some variance night to night, where, hey, Darius is rolling tonight, we're going to keep going to him. Like, It can't be, hey, Darius is having a really good stretch, and then all of a sudden, like, Zach LaVine just took 3 shots down the stretch, and it's like, okay, you were kind of forcing those. And I might be a little torn. Hey, you're the vet, I get it. But that's supposed to be the Darius Acuff show, right? Especially closing minutes and all of that. So, I mean, I think that Zach can be pretty impactful, and he has a lot of motivation to do so. As you've mentioned a lot, I think that Scott Perry, Kings general manager, has been extremely transparent with him in what the role will look like. Hey, if you want to get paid next season, play well this year.
Yeah.
And if you want to end up on a competitive team by the end of the year, play well this year, and we will find a new home for you. So I think that Zach has a lot of motivation to get what may be his final payday. I don't know if he's going to Bradley Beal it and end up like, dang, this guy's still around, huh? Like, still playing. But I think that Zach and Domas, Darius, all of the above, Keegan's a forgotten part of this. When we're talking about shots, like, what shots are Keegan taking? DeAndre Hunter's an expiring contract. So I think there's going to be some figuring out to do there for sure, but the fact that they get to do it so much at home is definitely a benefit.
We've talked about this being a trial by fire for Darius Acuff Jr., because we expect that he's going to be thrust into the starting lineup right away and should be getting starting caliber minutes right away. I don't think it's going to be a De'Aaron Fox situation. When De'Aaron Fox first came in, he was the backup to George Hill to start. The Kings took their time with that.
Yeah.
Don't think they're going to be doing that with Acuff. Just put him in there and let him learn. And you talk about a trial by fire. 3 out of his first 4 games. Game 1, he's lining up against Darius Garland. Game 2, he's lining up against a combination of Ja Morant and Dame Lillard. Game 3, it's Memphis. Okay, like what, Max Christie or something like that. Well, I mean, D'Angelo Russell. No disrespect to D'Angelo Russell.
It's the Walter Clayton.
Yeah, it doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
Or you got the local boys, the Fresno's finest, Cedric Howard, and Folsom's finest, and Jalen Wills.
Sure. I did not know that Cedric Howard was. Where'd you say?
Fresno.
And then Game 4, you've got a combination of De'Aaron Fox / Stephon Castle / Dylan Harper. Like right out the gate. Darius Acuff Jr. is going to be going mano-a-mano with some of the best point guards in the league. Like right out the gate. Sink or swim, bud.
Yeah, I mean, the guard play in the modern league is ridiculous. Like I remember De'Aaron talking about this. Every guard talks about this. There's no nights off, right? Like if we try to figure out an easy night, it's Memphis, like you mentioned, and D'Lo could give a rookie problems. Yeah. Some of these guys for sure. Walter Clayton Jr., like Dallas. I don't even know who their starting point guard is off the top of my mind, to be honest.
Is it Kyrie?
It is Kyrie. I'm over here thinking Nembhard, and I know they traded him. You're right. It's Kyrie. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's no easy matchups. Miami, Davion Mitchell. Like, okay, you're not too worried defensively, but like you're about to get clamped up. Yeah. Don't have an off night out here.
Nice.
What
about New Orleans?
DeJounte Murray would be an annoying player to play against. He's on the lower end of it.
There's no let up, man.
There's no let up. Like it is difficult every single night for a point guard in the NBA. And it's going to be curious to see even some of these nights. It's like, okay, well, maybe it's not even the point guard that's guarding him. It could be some of these other players. Memphis, is it Cedric Howard that's out there guarding him, right?
The Spurs are going to put Stephon Castle on him, right? Or is it going to be Stephon Castle and Zach LaVine? Because De'Aaron could guard
Probably Duren on him.
I imagine Duren might play a little bit of a chip on his shoulder defensively against the new rookie, too. Oh, you going to be better than me?
Which, by the way, I find it really funny that it's a cup game. Do you remember, was it a cup game against Minnesota when he had 60? Duren?
Was it a cup game?
For some reason, I want to say it was a cup game.
It might have been.
But anyways, interested to see him back in town. But there's no easy nights for Darius Acuff. This is going to be quite a growing process. Figuring out who he's going to be guarding, I think, is an interesting thing. I know that he said he wants to take the challenge. I love it. Hey, Keegan and DeAndre Hunter are better at it. There's just the strategy of it that all comes into play here. So a little bit easier to start for Acuff, but I really think it's all relative. And when you're a guard looking at who you're facing any given night, it's just like, geez, like you said, New Orleans, one of the teams I think the Kings are actually better than, and it's like, oh yeah, DeJounte Murray's still there.
Yeah. The benefit of the Kings' early season schedule is the amount of times that they're at home in November. That doesn't mean they're going to win a majority of their games, because this is good for season ticket holders. This is not good for the win-loss record of the Sacramento Kings at home. Early part of the schedule, you have the Lakers in town. You have the Spurs in town. You've got Giannis and the Heat in town. You've got Portland in town twice. You've got Oklahoma City in town. You've got San Antonio in town again. Boston in town. Minnesota in town.
Yeah.
We've got a lot. And that's just through early December. That actually is just November. No, just November and October are 8 games against teams that are high echelon playoff teams in Sacramento. Going to be great for us. We get to go and watch these great teams come through Sacramento early. Hell yeah. And you could argue, it's better to jump on good teams early before they really settle in.
Right. Allegedly.
Boy, it's really going to be a welcome to the NBA Acuff and welcome to the season, Kings. Hope you don't drown.
I'm really curious to see the fan reaction based on how that goes, because there's going to be so many home games in front of the Golden One crowd. If the Kings if they've won 7 games by the end of November, are people already starting to be like, man, this year's tough? I guess it's going to depend on if there's individual performances.
7 might not be too bad. That's 7
You're
and
right.
13.
I mean,
sign me up.
Yeah, relatively, right? Compared to the 22 they won last year.
Now, if it's 4.
Right. You know what I'll say? If it's 4 and there's 3 really good Darius Acuff games, does that feel any better? I think so, right?
If there's 3 really good Darius Acuff Jr. games and Zach LaVine is putting up good enough numbers to where you feel like the Kings will be able to trade him at the deadline, I think Kings fans will be all right.
I tend to think so too, but I think that we're going to have a lot of reactions after that first month. Again, with how much it's in front of the Golden One crowd, a team that I think some people are hoping will take another step, at least not be as embarrassing as last year, right? It's fair to call last year embarrassing. That was bad.
Right.
That was bad. It was, you knew going into every single game, they were probably going to get stomped, unfortunately, and it played out more often than not. So I'm really curious to see how they can respond to this, protecting the home court. And if you could build up some good energy early in the year, I think that goes a long way.
Yeah. Their last game in November is game 20. It's versus the New Orleans Pelicans in New Orleans. So if they get through their first 20 games of the season and they're 4-16, but they're highly competitive in all their games, let's say they push Boston to the limit. Maybe they go to overtime against Oklahoma City, or they have a chance to beat Miami and then Giannis closes it out, or they give San Antonio a run for their money in that cup game. I think that will matter a lot too. If Kings fans are tuning into competitive basketball on a nightly basis, knowing their team is going to be bad, but they're competitive, I think this season will not be as hard to get through as we expect it to be.
I tend to think so too. I think that you have the individual storylines to watch for more this year. They hypothetically existed last year, but everybody got hurt.
And individual performances, I feel, matter more this year. No disrespect to Russell Westbrook or DeMar DeRozan. They got their milestones, and those are really cool. But most Kings fans said, okay, this doesn't really matter. Acuff playing well matters. Even LaVine playing well matters. Sabonis matters. Keegan matters. That's the part that I'm excited about too, is more individual storylines that mean something down the road.
Yeah, you're right. The DeMar and Russ stuff didn't impact the team at all. Both those guys walk for absolutely nothing. It's cool to see, especially now Russ announcing his retirement. It's like, in hindsight, it's like, oh, that was kind of cool to watch him climb the record book a little bit. In the moment, didn't really do anything for me, Matt. So I do think there are a lot more individual storylines. One guy that I'm really curious about, though, I mean, Keegan Murray for sure, I think, is going into starting his massive contract. What was it, $5,140 or something like that?
He's paid $25 million this year.
He's getting paid a good amount of money. And, you know, to the conversation you and I had on your podcast previously of like, can they recreate the Beam team a little bit, or at least certain aspects of it offensively? Keegan is the big difference, I feel like, of this is not rookie Keegan Murray anymore. Like last year, part of what this, you know, gap year, or maybe it's another gap year, I don't even really like that term, was, okay, well, now Keegan gets to run the show. And he hardly played at all last year. And it's like, okay, we're talking about Darius needs to get his shots. I think that Zach could end up being the leader in scoring. Domas, I think, helps set everybody up. But, like, how many shots does Keegan get on a night-to-night basis?
Does he get the Harrison Barnes role of standing in the corner, or is he a featured member of the offense?
He's getting paid a lot more than the Harrison Barnes role.
True.
And so, well, I guess kind of relative to what Harrison was making at that time. But I think for the most part, the idea is that he is one of the guys that can continue to grow and to blossom into something more. And I'm a little curious about what his touches are really going to look like.
Do you subscribe at all to the, I would call it more wishful thinking than like there's true evidence to this, although it's something I'm very curious about. The belief that playing next to DeAndre Hunter can open up opportunity for him. Because Keegan started his season playing next to Harrison, and he was the best that he played his rookie year, but that was because he was hitting threes. I don't fully subscribe to if your workload is so heavy on defense, your offense will be that drastically affected, because then you're not the two-way player that we thought you had the capability of being. But having someone else that gives you switchability defensively on the perimeter with you, because you and I both agree that DeAndre Hunter and Keegan Murray should start next to each other and have Precious come off the bench. Do you subscribe to the belief that that can have a noticeable impact on Keegan Murray's at least offensive efficiency?
To be honest with you, I don't know. Like, I agree with your defensive point of if it takes away from your offense to put out all this defensive effort, that just means you're not a very good two-way player.
Right.
You know, there are guys that do that. Look at Dylan Brooks last year, and he had an outlier year, but like what he's able to do. There are two-way players that make impacts on both sides of the floor, and then there's guys that just do one or the other. And Keegan has the skill set to do both. I do think it should help. I think that, say you play the Clippers, right? Keegan is the one that you're putting on guards, and DeAndre Hunter, Keegan, Darius Garland, right? That's who you're guarding. DeAndre Hunter, you got Brandon Ingram. And now, like, Keegan doesn't have to worry about both. It's like, oh, Ingram's going off right now. Let's go put Keegan on him. You know, you have Precious Achiuwa as another option on that bench. Maybe Neat can grow into that a little bit, but as of right now, TBD.
And Keegan doesn't have to fight through every screen. He can now at least reasonably feel confident in switching versus like Keegan, we can't let you switch off this player because it's going to be Kevin Huerter that switched, or I don't know, Zach LaVine that switched.
Right.
Now it's like, okay, maybe DeAndre Hunter's there to switch with you to just take a little bit of that pressure off of your shoulders.
Yeah, it could make life easier. Dylan Cardwell, I think, falls into the switching a little bit as well.
Absolutely.
So it should make his life a little bit easier, but more than anything, like offensively, it's what it's always been with Keegan. I need to see him be aggressive. I need to see him going and hunting out those shots. You don't have to, sacrifice the entire offense to bend to your will, but hey, I got a little bit of an advantage here, and I think they can definitely play some advantage basketball throughout the course of this season, is that instead of pump faking and then passing, I'm going to pump fake, put the ball on the deck, and go attack the rim, right? Like his getting to the basket, finishing around there. I'm sick of going up thinking like, oh my God, he might dunk it, which I don't even really think that anymore because we know Keegan, and he little double clutches, and like maybe he'll get to the line, hardly gets to the line, but attack the basket with some force. You're tall. You're a strong dude. Like I think that for me, while DeAndre Hunter will help him, I think it's on Keegan more than anything to take a step this year.
Keegan really added that midi to his game, too.
Yeah.
Like, he looked more comfortable shooting the midi off the dribble, which was never a part of his game early. I think playing one-on-one with De'Aaron and other guys probably helped with that. But now you got to get that three-point shot, that catch-and-shoot three-point shot back, because it's just been a free fall since that rookie year. So that part's been unfortunate. I don't know if you heard earlier in the show, Brendan, but I don't think the Kings are in a position at all for me to say with any kind of confidence they should beat this team on any given night. Like, I think they're better than teams, but should beat, who the hell knows? The Kings shouldn't do anything. They haven't earned that, really. But
I'm looking at the LA Clippers roster, assuming the Kawhi Leonard trade is going through. And I would argue that the Clippers will be better if the Kawhi Leonard trade goes through than if it doesn't. Not because Kawhi's not a good player, but because if the trade doesn't go through, it's because Kawhi had too big of a suspension for the Raptors to do the trade, which means Kawhi's not playing for the Clippers either. So they got Brandon Ingram, they got Grady Dick, in addition to they have Darius Garland, Bradley Beal is back. Am I crazy in thinking, like, when looking at the teams in the relegation zone conversation that the Kings will be fighting with, am I crazy to think that the Kings could be better than the Los Angeles Clippers? Like, I think their roster can stack up to talent-wise what the Clippers have.
I wouldn't bet on it, but I definitely hear what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that, to me, the ceiling of this team is competing for the play-in. I think there's a world where they end up in the play-in, and I think that's partially because I don't think the bottom of the West is as strong as we're used to. Yeah. You know, like, what are the Warriors going to be? I have no idea what the Warriors are going to be. The Clippers fall into probably the same tier there, right? Portland Trailblazers, I think they are definitely a more talented roster, but I am kind of factoring in what the heck is going on over there. Like with their ownership and all this ridiculous stuff.
Where do you guys put Phoenix?
Phoenix is another one where it's like, I think Phoenix could come back down to earth. They were the darlings last year and snuck into the postseason.
Their defense is really good, though. Or has the potential to be.
Right. People thought they should be just near the Kings last year, though, right? And I think the argument is that they could be what the Suns were last year, in a way. And so I think it's totally within realm that they could be competing for the play-in. I think it's more likely that they're the second, third worst team in the West. But I think that you have a good start to November, like we're talking about with these home games. You start to build up some momentum in the right direction, figure out the identity that they've been so desperate to find over these last 2 years under Scott Perry, Doug Christie, then you can start to trend in that direction. Because the Clippers aren't overwhelming, right? Like Darius Garland, Brandon Ingram, obviously, right? Rui Hachimura, what's Keaton Wagler going to look like? Did you see their schedule release video, by the way?
I saw that Keaton did some acting in it.
Yeah, super weird. He was actually a very good actor.
Is he good? He's in L.A.
Yeah, he was a very good actor. So I thought that was kind of funny, even though I didn't realize it was a scheduled release until the very end. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. But very TBD with that team. Bradley Beal, what is he going to look like? Didn't look like much last year.
Is he going to play?
Right. So I do think the Clippers are better than the Kings, but to me, it might be more some other teams of like, I don't know about the Warriors, and I kind of hate betting against Steph Curry, to be honest, and Jimmy Butler, two guys historically you don't want to. But again, Portland, I think, falls into that. Everybody's so sure Utah's going to take a jump, and I agree, but I got to see it first.
Something you said, we have to go to break here, but something you said that got me thinking. If Brendan Nunez from the future were to walk in that door right now and tell me, hey guys, I'm back from late April, and the Sacramento Kings made the play-in as the 10th seed, led by Darius Acuff Jr. You don't have to tell me they made the playoffs. You don't have to tell me they probably lost the first playing game. I don't care. I would argue that we are in for a tremendously fun season.
I would agree.
Because if Acuff is leading that charge, you don't have to tell me. Brendan of the future does not have to tell me what happens with Levine or Sabonis or nothing. But Acuff, if you just told me the context, the Kings will be the 10th seed, they'll make the play-in, and Darius Acuff Jr. led it, that's as close to best case freaking scenario as it comes.
I would agree. The only harm would be whatever happens to their draft pick, but flatten odds.
Hey.
Flatten odds.
Coin flip.
What if future Brendan was like, Zach LaVine averaged 27 and they're re-signing him?
Get out. I don't accept you. We gotta change this.
They made the play-in, Max.
We gotta change this. Shout out Zach LaVine. We'll take the break. When we come back, did you hear Draymond Green's thoughts on the Kawhi Leonard investigation?
I did not, actually.
Well, he has
first.
He has quite the suggestion for the punishment. I think it'd be a disaster for the NBA, but it's worth talking about. We'll do that next. Matt and Kayla with Brendan Nunez filling in on Sactown Sports.
Take Sactown Sports with you everywhere you go with the Sactown Sports app. The most in-depth coverage of the Kings and 49ers. A library of written and video content. And all your favorite personalities all in one place. Download the Sactown Sports app today and get in on the action. Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Need a reason to hit the range this week? Well, Hagen Oaks has two. Monday nights are happy hour all night long with special pricing on hot dogs and ice cold beer while you hit balls under the lights. Then Thursday, join the new Top Tracer competition nights. Play Pebble Beach, compete in closest to the pin, long drive, and more with fun interactive games for every skill level. Grab your friends and make Hagen Oaks your weeknight destination. Visit HagenOaks.com for more details. Hagen Oaks Driving Range, more games, more laughs, more reasons to play.
It's summertime, and Aleve is here to keep you on the go. Whether it's planes, trains, or automobiles, Aleve's got your back with up to 12 hours of back pain relief. With just one dose, you'll get to your destination and be ready for your next adventure. So pack your sunscreen, your shades, and your Aleve. No matter where your final stop, Aleve will keep you moving. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back this summer. Feel Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a social media manager.
Did you just post our Q4 earnings to your personal social media?
Oh yeah, used the trending audio and everything.
That's confidential financial data.
Relax. It only went a little viral.
The SEC just commented with the eyeball watching emoji.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Now through August 31st at Big O Tires, receive $80 to $120 in instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nexen, Nitto, or Sumitomo tires with installation purchase. Disposal fees extra, not good with other offers. See your locally owned Big O Tires dealer for pricing.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owed the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they helped me. They calmed me down. They made me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-375-2322. 800-375-2322. 800-375-2322.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Capital Casino is conveniently located in downtown 411 16th Street and has been a part of the greater Sacramento area for over 20 years. They offer the best variety of games in the region in a safe and friendly environment, and there's plenty of parking, all well lit and monitored by security. Come have a great meal at the cafe and restaurant inside. Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. But please always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
In celebration of 80 years of 49ers football, Sactown Sports is counting down 80 of the most memorable moments that have shaped the team's storied legacy and winning tradition. Here's today's faithful flashback.
Number 19. Steve Young's iconic scramble.
Steve Young's most famous rushing touchdown was his spectacular 49-yard scrambling touchdown against the Minnesota Vikings on October 30th of 1988. It is widely considered one of the greatest quarterback runs in NFL history, featuring a dramatic weaving scramble that broke multiple tackles to secure a 24-21 win. Trailing late in the fourth quarter at the stick, Young dropped back to pass. He dodged heavy pressure and avoided a sack. then scrambled through a tangle of defenders, turning a broken play into a wild zigzagging journey. Receiving a key block from Jerry Rice, Young was in the clear, yet he stumbled his way into the end zone and collapsed over the goal line in an exhausting yet breathtaking, iconic run.
Faithful flashbacks on Sactown Sports 1140.
Or the moving company for Dennis Schroeder. If you work for Dennis Schroeder in those capacities, you'll have a job for the rest of your life. Because my man Dennis Schroeder is on the move again. According from Shams Charania of ESPN, the Cleveland Cavaliers are trading Dennis Schroeder and cash to the Charlotte Hornets for Trey Mann. That means, ladies and gentlemen, that Dennis Schroeder has now played for 12 of 30 NBA franchises. This is his 12th NBA franchise. Attaboy, Schroed.
Is he approaching Ish Smith? I wonder how many teams.
Yeah, what is Ish Smith's number?
Either that, Garrett Temple, or Anthony Tolliver as well.
13 for Ish Smith.
Ooh, he's on the way.
Got to get one more.
Come on.
Something tells me that Dennis is going to get one more.
Come on. At the deadline?
Or he goes back to somewhere he's already been. You know, at this point, there's a high odds that happens.
It's almost a 50-50 shot at that point.
Yeah.
Wasn't GT close to that as well?
Let's see.
Does Dennis Schroeder have a do not trade list to all the teams that he used to have? Like his trade requests
I don't think so.
If I'm Schroeder now, I'm just leaning into the bit.
12 for Garrett Temple. Tied with Dennis Schroeder now.
See, just lean into the bit.
Jeez, Garrett Temple, 12 teams. Yeah, I mean,
I love G10.
You know what's funny is that, like, Dennis occasionally has really good years.
Yeah.
You know, it's a half year, but he played for 3 different teams before getting to the Kings in that season. What is it? Golden State, Brooklyn.
And Detroit.
And then Detroit. And Detroit, he played really well. It was like they wanted to bring him back. He was an ideal complementary guard next to Cade. They've kind of been searching for that since, crossing their fingers. They got that in a Corey in the draft. But, like, I kind of think Dennis could be halfway decent in Charlotte. Like, Kobe White is their primary guard, but I think that he could play next to Kobe White. I think that Kobe works really well as a scoring guard. This is not about, I don't want to sit here and hype up Dennis Schroeder's next season, but just point being, like, it's one of those where I'm just like, all right, not really paying attention to him very much, a team that's trying to figure it out, especially in the guard room, and I feel like he could help a little bit.
Here's the other ironic thing about talking about Dennis Schroeder. Him and Keon Ellis, which were part of the February trade for DeAndre Hunter, are both no longer in Cleveland.
They gone.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's probably a big part of the reason they do this deal, right?
Kings won the trade?
The Kings signed him to a bad enough deal that they screwed the Cavs over when they traded for him.
We win.
We go.
Scott Perry wins again.
DeAndre Hunter's still here.
You all owe him an apology. Draymond Green is not afraid to share his opinions on anything happening in the NBA, even though he's still a player, an active player.
I love Draymond. I feel like I'm going to regret saying that right now.
No, I'm actually a big Draymond Green fan. He makes me roll my eyes to the back of my head all the time, and I think he's just a doofus sometimes. But I think Draymond Green is so good for the league.
Yeah.
And I have so much respect for Draymond Green. We were having a conversation because The Athletic put out their tiers of Hall of Famers that are currently in the NBA, active and inactive. And Draymond was in the surefire Hall of Famer list. And I know people feel a certain type of way about that. He's the backpack on Steph Curry.
No question in my mind.
In my mind, he's absolutely a Hall of Famer. He's incredible, what he's been for the Golden State Warriors. That being said, he says and does a lot of stupid things. Here is Draymond weighing in on the Kawhi Leonard cap circumvention LA Clippers investigation, and he has an idea for what the punishment should be.
According to Pablo Torre on Pablo Torre Finds Out, A second company called Daktronics has now been connected to Kawhi Leonard in an undisclosed sponsorship agreement, allegedly worth millions of dollars as a way to give Leonard more incentive to join the Clippers and circumvent the salary cap. We're hearing a lot about what the punishments are going to be, and I would say if the punishments aren't steep, everybody should do it. If it's just going to be a slap on the wrist, then everybody should do it. And every player should be trying to do it. However, from Kawhi Leonard's standpoint, I ain't mad at him. If these things are true, I'm not mad at him. I think this raises a totally different question than what everyone's talking about. Everyone's talking about, oh man, Steve Ballmer's wrong, Kawhi Leonard's wrong. I think this raises the question about the salary cap. We're playing in a league where a team just sold for $12.5 billion after being sold for $10 billion 14 months ago. There's no salary cap in baseball. League operates just fine. Players that deserve the bulk of the money, get the bulk of the money. Players that don't. Simple. I think this is a much larger conversation that need to be had. I think everyone's, oh man, Kawhi's wrong. Will the trade get finalized? What's going to be the punishment? Let the punishment be getting rid of the salary cap. If you can make $2.5 billion on a sale in a year, what are we doing with the salary cap anyway?
So, a lot there.
Something tells me Draymond doesn't watch baseball.
No, not at all.
Or doesn't keep up with the league.
So, listen, if there's one thing that I agree with from what Draymond said, it's that the Lakers just sold for $12.5 billion. Where do we get a piece of that pie? I understand that. Everything else is pure. It's a crazy take for Draymond to go, wait a minute. I ain't mad at Steve Ballmer. I ain't mad at Kawhi for going and getting that money however they can. You know what the problem is? It's not that they cheated. It's that the salary cap existed, so they had to cheat.
It's the most like the Dodgers trading for Skubal and other guys, or paying Kyle Tucker and other people being like, you know, I think they're good for the league.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, of course. They're bagging everybody out. Like, it is so... I can't. Draymond is so funny, man.
Draymond was part of the last time that we had the same damn NBA Finals and same jam champions year after year after year. Now we're in a time where parity has never been better and talent is dispersed evenly around the league. And Draymond's like, get rid of the salary cap. The MLB's just fine. The Dodgers just buy the championship every year. We could do that with Joe Lacob.
The idea of raising the cap and that being like, I thought that's where he was heading the whole time.
Yep.
And then he says, just get rid of
Abolish
it. Just no need.
Pay me $10 billion for being Steph's backpack.
Which, like, what are we doing? I don't know, man. I think that for sure, first, second aprons, the larger point of, well, they think he's worth that much and they couldn't pay it to him. There's something to that, right? But there's a cap in place for a reason.
No, they didn't think he was worth that much and they couldn't pay it to him. They gave him that money to convince him to stay. It's not that he's worth that much. It's that we don't want to lose him somewhere else.
I see.
So we will go under the table to make sure he doesn't leave for the same money elsewhere. Because Kawhi's always a max guy.
Right.
It's just which max do you want? Do you want the Clippers max? Do you want the Heat max? Do you want whatever?
Because the Clippers max comes with a lot more money, apparently.
Exactly.
That's the whole point
because
here.
The Clippers max is this plus a little bit of this underneath the table.
I don't know, man. I find it really funny reflecting back on when he left Toronto, and there was an article that came out that Uncle Dennis was asking for all these ridiculous things, right? For partial ownership in other teams, which seems like that may be going on with Kawhi, or whatever it may be business-wise, that was obviously circumventing the cap, and they found somebody that was willing to do it. Like,
take care of y'all chicken.
And it is unsurprising to me that no player is going to come out and be like, yeah, man, like, I think it's unfair that he's getting paid, right? It's no pocket watching, especially all these dudes that got a whole lot of money. It's like, hey, you make your bread.
Get yours. Good on you, Kawhi.
Get yours. I would love to play for the Los Angeles Clippers, essentially.
Can you imagine if the NBA didn't have a salary cap? It would be the Lakers, the Heat, the Knicks.
I mean, the Clippers. I'm trying to think richest owners.
Yeah, Clippers would own the league.
The Clippers would actually probably be the best team in the league.
And we just all, like the Kings would, the Kings and 2/3 of the league would just be in hell every year.
It would be,
It'd be awful.
Yeah. I don't know how you would keep up. You'd have to have ridiculous investors going on. Yeah. It's too much. I think that to your point, like the parity is really healthy in the league right now. I kind of miss some of like the dynasties that we used to have in the league like that. But I think that it's in a good spot overall. The idea of raising it, maybe, sure, right? All relative to, well, this is what the CBA argument is. They're getting a percentage of the income, and I'm not super up to date with it, but I don't imagine it's changed drastically from what it's been in years prior. And so, unsurprising that Draymond's going to make that argument of, hey, well, good for him, essentially. The salary cap one and getting rid of that one threw me through a little bit of a loop. I don't know if you know, but baseball is about to go into a lockout.
Yeah,
so
not going great, though.
Not great, yeah.
Well, from Draymond Green's comments to the comments from Brendan Nunez's boy, Tyrese Halliburton, why he feels disrespected by the Pacers' schedule. We'll hear from him next. I think he's got a point on Sactown Sports.
SactownSports.com is your online home for sports in Sacramento. Dive deep into the Kings, 49ers, Raiders, Giants, Athletics, and more with your favorite local personalities and some of the most trusted sports voices in the community. Stream Sactown Sports 1140. Watch original video content and read in-depth analysis all in one location. SactownSports.com. Your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-909-4747. That's 800-909-4747. 800-909-4747.
Country in the Park 2, presented by your California Army National Guard, October 23rd at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Russell Dickerson. Plus more. Enjoy line dancing, live DJs, mechanical bull, and food trucks. Tickets start at just $70. Country in the Park 2, October 23rd at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo with Sky River Casino and Joel Gott Wines. More info at CITPFest.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, tell the listeners what's going on for the Make This the Summer Sales event.
Hoblet continues to be the place to find the best prices on the hard-to-find heavy-duty Ram you need. Right now, save up to $14,000 off MSRP on the new 2026 Ram 2500 Crew Cabs. And it's not just the savings. Right now, you also get Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Wow, it seems like every time you do this, you manage to find a new way to sweeten the deal.
That's the difference between the big city auto mall guys and the small town family-owned experience at Hoblet. When you come to Hoblet, you experience what 77 years of family-owned award-winning customer service looks like.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
14,000 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 2500 Crew Cabs after dealer discount and factory incentives. Incentives may include 1,000 Hoblet business owner bonus cash for eligible business owners, 1,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance for eligible trade, and 500 upfit, military, or first responder bonus cash for eligible members. Incentives may not be combined with any other offers or special APR programs. Excludes tax, title, and license fees. 2 with this net savings, the number 227-321 and 227-315. See dealer for details.
Progressive presents the Museum of You.
We begin our tour with a unique piece, a relic from the early big screen television era. Remarkable. Next, we find a juicer, which historians believe has only ever been used once. And finally, compact discs from the emo era. A rare find indeed.
Some things should be history, but until then, you could protect what's important to you and save by bundling your auto insurance with a renter's policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
If there's anybody that I know that my co-host for the day, Brendan Nunez, loves, it's Tyrese Halliburton.
It's my guy.
I'm excited to see him back, man. I'm excited to see him play basketball. Out for 16 months. And we're going to see
16. Yeah, I guess because the offseason, yeah.
We're going to see him suit up and play basketball for the first time here this fall. But apparently Tyrese Halliburton is not too happy with the Pacers' schedule.
Okay.
I don't know what this is from. It's on TikTok. He appeared on some kind of podcast or something. I don't know what it is. I apologize. I don't know what it is. Here is.
I think he was on the Numbers on the Board pod.
Is that what it is?
For what it's worth. Yeah, with Kenny Beecham and all those guys.
Oh, perfect. Wonderful. I didn't know.
Love that stuff, to be honest.
Awesome. Well, Tyrese, I'll let him speak for himself.
Name any other person that you compare to my level of a basketball player, wherever you have me ranked. If they tore their Achilles and missed 16 months, do you think that game would be on national television? Yeah. Yeah, you probably think so? Sure. Yeah. Do you think that game would be at home, if not on national television?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that game would be at New Orleans?
Wait, what?
Oh, your first game? Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
When I saw schedule, I was like, oh, wow. Not Trey Murphy, love my boy Trey. New Orleans, but I was shocked to see that. But we move on.
I love the TikTok sound at the end.
Tyrese, he got a point. The Pacers were in the NBA Finals, a win away from knocking off the Thunder and winning it all when Tyrese ruptured his Achilles.
Yeah.
His Achilles, right? Yeah. Ruptured his Achilles. He's back. His first game back. And they put him on the road in New Orleans? A place where the NBA knows damn well they don't watch basketball?
New Orleans is pretty crazy.
Give him
New
a
Orleans
game.
is actually the worst place
Give
possible.
him his homecoming in Indiana against a playoff team in the East.
It's interesting. I agree. I agree it should be at home. I'm not sure that I'm like, oh, this should be a nationally televised game. I admittedly didn't look at the schedule of the other days of this game and what they're televising and what they're not. But I still, for some reason, feel like he's not viewed in that superstar tier. I say for some reason, but I get it, right? Like, I think that he is obviously more of a pass-first guy. The way that he was clutch as maybe ever during that postseason run did change a lot of that, right? It's the questions we had when he got drafted to the Kings. It's like, okay, we thought he was a fairly low-ceiling guy, but a great connector, and we realized pretty quick, I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's taking step backs and shooting from his chin, but it's going in every single time.
Right.
And so I get why he feels slighted. I think this is one of those things where if I was a player, I would use all these little tiny things to just have a chip on my shoulder and motivation, things that I know really aren't a big deal, but that's going to agitate me. And I bet you he's going to go into New Orleans with some force behind his game a little bit there, but it definitely should be in front of the home crowd. I'm trying to think, can you think of any other examples of a guy coming back? I feel like I was trying to think of Tatum last year, but that was the middle of the season, so there's no scheduling for that. I can't think of examples of guys coming back. Is Portland's first game a home game, for Damian Lillard's return, for example?
That's a good call. I was looking up Dallas right now because of the
Kyrie.
return of Kyrie.
Yeah.
and they have Cooper Flagg on their team. Dallas opens up their season at Houston. Not a national TV game, but still Texas battle against a playoff team in the West.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Portland is a home game against Phoenix.
Okay, good matchup.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I get it, but
TV, it's probably not.
It is not. It is not. They do not have many national TV games. Surprise, surprise. Second game of the year is in Sacramento, the Trailblazers.
Yep. It's our home opener.
Do you think that Tyrese should be in that superstar tier? I mean, the run he had for sure.
I think he was there.
I just wonder if it's a one-off.
Well, that's a fair question.
Like Trae Young.
That's a fair question. I think he was there with how he was playing. And when you miss a year, the NBA moves on without you, man.
Yeah, you got to prove it again.
And I don't mean, people know who Jason Tatum is, but when Boston was balling, led by Jaylen Brown, and Tatum missed as much time as he missed, it's like, oh, well, Tatum's not as missed and longed for as it feels like he is. Like, if you miss a year, you get used to players not being there. Let's go back to our exercise when we were talking about the schedule, and we were talking about point guard matchups. And you said Dallas. Who's Dallas's point guard? Oh, Kyrie, who's been out for a year. You move on. You get used to these players not being there, and you haven't seen them for a while. And I think Tyrese is going to remind us all that he's a really, really good player. There's always the question mark of when you have that severe of an injury, are you ever the same? And Tyrese has to answer that question himself and show that to all of us. But I think Tyrese did deserve more of a publicized return than he got because of how good and how close the Indiana Pacers were. I mean, he was incredible in those playoffs.
He was. I think the East is a different beast now than it was.
Yes. Oh my God.
He did, if I'm remembering right, take down that Knicks team.
Yes.
That was pretty much the same team at that point. I believe that was post-Cat trade, just no Mike Brown.
No Mike Brown, though.
No Mike Brown. Instead, Tom Thibodeau.
No OG Anunoby playing like he's God.
This is true. And so Indiana has to prove it again.
I agree.
I think it's one of those where when you're going through the East, it's like, okay, Philly, Miami, New York, obviously.
Well, yeah, let's do this real quick. Let me go through the Eastern Conference standings, and you tell me. We're just going through last year's standings in order.
Okay.
You tell me where you feel the Pacers are better. Detroit.
I like Detroit.
I do too.
Yeah.
Boston.
I think Boston is better.
They're supposed to be.
Close. That one's close. Maybe same tier.
New York.
New York's better.
Cleveland.
I'm just not a Cleveland believer, but
they should be. They're
tier.
going to be better.
Yeah.
Toronto.
I think that team's going to be pretty good with Kawhi. If Kawhi's there,
let's assume Kawhi's there.
I think they're legit contenders in the East.
Atlanta.
They should be better than Atlanta.
I would agree. Philly
should be better.
Now we're getting towards the bottom here. Orlando. I think they're better.
They're better than Orlando.
Charlotte.
They're definitely better than Charlotte.
Miami.
Close. I think I'm taking Miami. They're probably in the same tier about two of those teams that we mentioned.
And the last one I'll throw in there, even though they're at the bottom of the standings, they're a completely different team now, Washington.
Yeah, you don't know with Washington.
They should be better than Washington, though.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they were the worst of that. I'm not saying that I would guess them to be. I think they're in the similar tier to probably Boston, Cleveland.
Are they a play-in team? Or are they like a 5th or 6th seed?
The thing is that the East is what we grew to get used to the West being, right? Is that
stacked.
It is there's two bad teams. It's Milwaukee and Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, every team is good.
Yeah.
Legitimately good. Like Washington that you mentioned taking a big step. Atlanta had a really good run to close the season. I feel like Atlanta's getting talked about more than Indiana, which is definitely disrespectful.
What's funny
to this point.
The Atlanta Hawks have one fewer national TV game than the Pacers do this year. The Portland Trailblazers have the same amount of national TV games, which is 11 that the Pacers have. And I remember, we cared about...
You said Portland?
Portland.
Huh?
Portland has 11 national TV games. So do the Indiana Pacers.
Why does Portland have 11?
Dame?
I guess.
And Ja?
I get, yeah.
You're not locking into Denny Advia?
Dude, what's going on? Yeah. What's going on? It's Scoot Henderson, man. Yeah. Everybody's there for Scoot. I don't know. I mean, I think that Indiana does just have to prove it again. They were one of the worst teams in the league last year. They barely miss out on getting that pick because it fell 5th when they protected it top 4 in the Zubac trade.
Yep.
And so they have to prove it again. Like, the East is a lot stronger than it was at that time. It almost makes me think of Trae Young's run to the Eastern Conference Finals, or that year that Denver won, and then people come out years later and be like, the league was a little bit weaker that season. So I get why Tyrese feels slighted. I love that he has that mindset, but I think that he and the team need to prove it again.
We'll take the break. We got 1 hour left. Brendan, Victor Oladipo feels like a lock to come to Sacramento.
God,
all right. Well, that says it all. Let's talk about it, because I like elements of it, but there's a lot of it that I don't have, a lot of questions around it that I don't have answers to. We'll talk about it next. Plus, later in the hour, the Spurs, quote-unquote, still committed to De'Aaron Fox. What else are they going to say? We'll talk about that, too. In the final hour of the show, it's Matt and Kayla with Brendan Nunes on Sactown Sports.
Football is back.
This is Sactown, baby!
And Sactown Sports 1140 is your home for primetime NFL games this season.
This is Kevin Harlan of Westwood One. Catch all the NFL primetime action.
Catch Monday, Thursday, and Sunday night football, international games, the NFL playoffs, and the Super Bowl right here on Sactown Sports all season long. Your local sports leader, Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owed the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $3 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140.
The summer of Silverado continues at Folsom Chevy. General Manager Eric Wilson and his team have rolled out an incredible deal for August on every 2026 Silverado half-ton truck in stock with a 5.3-liter engine. $13,000 off MSRP, 0% financing for 5 years, no monthly payment for 90 days, and there's a lifetime warranty. Find it all at Folsom Chevy at the Folsom Auto Mall. Must finance with GM on approved credit. $16.67 per 1,000 financed. Cannot be combined with other offers. Ends August 30th, 2026.
At Big O, we offer total auto care to make any car problem feel like no problem at all. We keep the scary lights off and help you get back on the road. Now through August 31st, during our High Temps Low Prices sales event, receive $80 to $120 in instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nexen, Nitto, or Sumitomo tires with installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation required. Disposal fees and shop fees extra were permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers.
The biggest concerts and events are on the Sactown Sports Live Events calendar. August 21st, party with the B-52s and Men Without Hats at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Ty Myers takes over the Lake Tahoe Amphitheater at Caesars Republic August 22nd. George Thorogood rocks Thunder Valley August 24th. September starts with Thunder Showdown 5 Pro Boxing September 5th. Zach Top headlines 2 nights at the Lake Tahoe Amphitheater September 11th and 12th. Five Finger Death Punch Rocks Toyota Amphitheater September 14th. Earth, Wind & Fire light up Hard Rock Live Sacramento September 15th and 16th. And Riley Green hits Toyota Amphitheater September 19th. Then check out California California Overland Adventure and Power Sports Show September 26th and 27th at the Sonoma County Event Center. October brings Leonard Skinner October 2nd at Ironstone Amphitheater and Thomas Rhett October 3rd at Golden One Center. Find every show and every ticket now on the Sactown Sports live events calendar at sactownsports.com.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports 1140, your local sports leader.
The Orlando Magic organization when they drafted Victor Oladipo.
That's right. I forgot about that.
It just feels like it's going to happen. It feels like a lock. And while I don't think it's the same thing, because a lot of people are going, oh, God, here we go, another veteran to take minutes. It's not the same thing as the Kings bringing in Russell Westbrook. It's not, like, to me, it's a completely different thing. Victor Oladipo is coming to Sacramento or coming back into the NBA to try and reignite his career. One last ride, right? He's not coming in to where Doug Christie goes, well, I got to find a spot for him in my rotation. No,
right.
You kind of got to earn it. That being said, there are a lot of questions that I've seen from people. There's a really good follow on King's Twitter, Akis, and I'm going to try and find his...
Sactown Royalty guy?
Yeah, from
Akis.
Akis, sorry.
My understanding.
From Sactown Royalty. I'm going to try and find this. Because he posted, like, basically a question that I didn't have an answer to. And let's see if I can find it. Sorry. He says, I get it's a feel-good story, but the guy is 34 years old.
Yeah. Hasn't
played at all in 3 years, and literally plays our least needed position. I don't know what we're doing here. I'm totally fine with the Kings bringing in Victor Oladipo. I think it's fun. Take a flyer. You're in a position to take a flyer. But I don't have a response to what Akis said. I have no response because that's a very fair question, a very fair assessment of all people, why him?
I think it's the positional thing for me, right? Because like the Russ conversation, that was a backup point guard. I think the Kings do not currently have a backup point guard. Their answer has been Malik Monk and Neat Clifford will share that responsibility in the second unit, which I think that's fine.
I think Malik's perfect for it.
I think Malik is a fine backup point guard. But so you bring in Victor Oladipo, who is losing minutes, right? And I think the good thing about Oladipo is that what you mentioned, he hasn't played in a while. Looking at his basketball reference page is pretty jarring. He played 75 games back in 2017-18. 18-19, 36 games. 19-20, 19 games. 20-21, 33 games. It's 21-22, 8 games. 22-23, 42 games. He didn't play last year. He had a knee injury. Yeah. Like, it's because of those circumstances, I don't think that Oladipo needs to be promised a role. No. Right? I think that he would be willing to, and this is all speculation, but just given his circumstances, that he would be willing to come in and try and earn a spot.
Right.
And if he didn't, then guess what? You're sitting on the bench and you're kind of like the Terrence Davis this year, if we're going back to Beam Team, right? Of, hey, maybe we need a spark. We're going to try you here and there throughout the course of the season. That could make some sense, right? It's a flyer. Kings only have minimum deals to work with. But say Oladipo plays well, like it feels like we're kind of running back a little bit of the DeMar problem from last year. It's like, is he taking Neat Clifford's minutes? That's probably not a good thing.
Does he get in the way of Emmanuel Sharp?
Is he get in the way of Emmanuel Sharp? Like, I think it's tough to figure out whose minutes he's taking. Now, if they move on from Zach LaVine in the middle of the season and trade him for a different position player-wise, then it's like, okay, it starts to make a little bit more sense, right? And I think that's part of their hope is to move on from Zach at some point this year. But to me, it's just, I don't know. I wouldn't hate the flyer. I'm not going to sit here if they do sign him and be like, what are we doing? This makes no sense. It doesn't make much sense, but there's also really no risk involved outside of what I mentioned of he potentially takes minutes from Neek. And if Victor Oladipo is beating out Neek Clifford, that might be a Neek Clifford problem.
I think it's a bigger indictment on the players, the young guys that he beats out.
Right.
I don't think he's going to naturally get in the way the same way that some of the other veterans last year naturally got in the way.
Like right? DeMar and Russ are more impactful than Victor Oladipo. Haven't seen Victor in a while, but that's what makes me say that.
We know DeMar and Russ are NBA players. Is Victor Oladipo still?
Right.
We don't know. That's kind of his point of coming back. But something you said there I think really matters in this conversation. You said he's not promised a role. Because a lot of people are like, I know I've thought about like, why would they choose a Victor Oladipo over a Ben Simmons? Well, Ben Simmons, I think, is coming back even at 30 years old and dealing with what he's dealt with.
Gosh, he's 30.
Yeah, right?
Jeez.
He's coming back with I'm not joining a team to earn my spot.
Right.
I'm coming back to a team that's going to use me as their backup point guard or play me at least in the rotation. And I'm not saying, because I don't know, because I haven't talked to Scott Perry or anyone in the Kings organization about this, I'm not saying if there is a preference of Oladipo over Simmons, which there seems to be, that's the reason for it. But I think Perry knows clearly what Oladipo is about because of their background. And there is, like you said, very, very little risk to Oladipo coming here and taking opportunity away from someone unless they, quote unquote, lose it to him.
Yeah, which, like we said, would be more of an indictment on those younger players than anything. And so, yeah, again, all speculation, but I imagine that he would be fine with, you're sitting and waiting for your opportunity a little bit, that you're not promised minutes. I'm curious if Simmons would be the same way. I do lean Ben Simmons between the two.
I do too.
I think they just need that backup point guard. Right. I think defensively he would be a lot of help because right now you have Keegan Murray to guard the Steph Currys, Darius Garland, Ja Morant, whatever it may be. And then you have no other defensive guards, like Emmanuel Sharp, I guess.
When we first got wind of the Kings' interest in Oladipo, it was kind of lumped in with the reports around Russell Westbrook.
I think in Summer League he had a private workout and the Kings were out there.
Yeah, but it was all under the umbrella of, first and foremost, a mentor for Darius Acuff Jr.
Yeah.
Oladipo's been through a lot in his NBA career.
Remember when he won a Most Improved Player?
Yeah, people forget he was a bucket in Indiana.
Yeah.
He was so good. An athletic freak when he was young. A baller. Injuries took a lot of his career from him.
With Domas, actually, huh?
Yeah, young Domas in Indy. Yeah. But is there wisdom that Victor Oladipo can share with Darius Acuff Jr.? Absolutely. I'm not bringing in Victor Oladipo to be the primary vet for Acuff. I'm standing on the guy that I want spending the most time with Darius Acuff Jr. is Domantas Sabonis, because they're going to play off of each other the most, and you don't need a point guard to mentor a point guard necessarily. You have a distributor in Domantas Sabonis who Acuff is going to play off of and through a lot while he is here. I am okay with that being the mentorship with lessons from Malik and lessons from Keegan and lessons from the other guys.
Precious.
Precious, exactly. It's never one thing of this is my vet and I don't listen to anybody else.
Right.
But the vet for Acuff, I think, is here in Sabonis.
It's also Doug Christie.
Yes, Doug Christie as well. I think Oladipo could help provide some wisdom that Acuff should certainly listen to. But that's not what I'm bringing Victor Oladipo in. I have an open roster spot. This guy wants a chance. I like his athleticism. I'm familiar with him, so I'm bringing him in. I can subscribe to that.
Taking minutes from the young guys would be agitating to me.
Yes.
Again, if Neek's not bleeding him out, that's a Neek problem. But I do think that I'm expecting this year to go, that the priority should be on developing talent, right? If there's a world where now, because Oladipo's on the team, Emmanuel Sharp isn't getting the opportunity that he thought. And I'm a little bit kind of pump the brakes on Sharp. How much is he going to play this year? I don't know. They did sign him to the 3-year standard deal. It seems like from conversations in Summer League that he thinks that he could have an opportunity sooner rather than later. I would love to see it. But
I think he's the guy that steps in as soon as Levine is traded, if he is traded.
I would think so too. He could have,
not as a starter, but as someone who gets more consistent minutes.
yeah, some rotational run a little bit, and like I just mentioned, they don't have another guard defender outside of Keegan Murray.
Yep.
Like, I think that Sharp will get an opportunity at some point in the year. If Oladipo being on the roster limits that, I think that would be kind of agitating. But when you try and figure out, like, what's the ideal spot for him, right? Is it a team that is contending right now? Like, probably not. No. I think that's a weird spot for them.
Yeah.
It's maybe, I think, a team that should be like a little bit more in the middle. Like maybe Atlanta before they got CJ McCollum type of thing, or, I mean, could Phoenix benefit from a guy like that, And we were just talking about a TBD on what Phoenix will even look like next year. But it feels a little bit weird I know it's typical for these guys like Russ last year that are trying to prove it, that to remain in the league, to go to maybe some of these more expected to be disappointing and bad teams, but that feels a little backwards to me. I don't know that I'm seeing that much benefit to what it would be outside of what is the best case scenario, that he plays really well and then they get some sort of value for him in the middle of the season.
I think the best case scenario is Oladipo provides a good veteran presence in that locker room, is very beneficial to practices in that environment and training camp, and
maybe he's good and they mess around and make the play-in.
Maybe. Like, I look at Victor Oladipo as what Doug McDermott was to the Kings last year. That's Victor Oladipo. You might see him in garbage time, you might see him at the end of games, and maybe he gets stretches depending upon injuries, but he's that break glass in case of emergency, maybe scoring punch off of the bench, and he can help you win a couple basketball games, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe we don't see him until the game is either already won or already lost.
If they make a couple trades midseason, he starts to make a lot more sense, right? And there's a world where Oladipo doesn't even go signed this offseason, and then you can wait and figure that out of, hey, we moved on from Zach, or we moved on from Malik, and all of a sudden we need this role, and something opens up a little bit. But for the most part, it's just a little bit of a weird one to me. I'd rather do what they've done the last 2 years of flyers on somewhat younger guys, right? Of Markelle Fultz coming in or Killian Hayes coming in. And they don't have to necessarily be these former lottery picks. Like Nick Smith Jr. is one I've seen mentioned, was on the Lakers last year, right? A young guy that has some upside, could potentially grow into something beyond this season. Like, I was going to say we know what Oladipo is, but we don't at the current stage. But we know that he's not going to continue to grow at this point in his career. What we said, 34, I think it was. Like, whatever he's doing right now is probably about what we're going to be accustomed to.
I just wonder, is there anything to the idea, and I just came up with this, so I've not heard this anywhere. Is there anything to the idea that Scott Perry wants Victor Oladipo to fill the void of the person that DeMar DeRozan is? Because Perry very clearly valued DeRozan as a mentor and veteran over DeRozan as a basketball player, but DeRozan as a basketball player is still good.
Yeah.
But like, all Perry talks about is how great DeMar was. And Perry made it very clear in his scrum before Summer League. Like, I don't think he wanted to move DeRozan. He just kind of had to.
Yeah.
It was the situation that he was in. And it was best for DeMar also to move on. So is there anything to Perry, who has a background and a connection with Victor Oladipo, who's faced a lot of adversity and hopefully overcome a lot of it, and also just seems to be a great dude in general, that you give him the opportunity as a basketball player to get back in the NBA, but the biggest thing he brings to this organization is a steady veteran presence in the locker room and personality that Acuff and the other young guys, Neek, whoever, can lean on, that used to be DeMar DeRozan?
I wonder, because ideally they already have that on their team, right? I don't
Who would
know.
be that?
I mean, to what you said earlier, like Domas.
I don't think Domas is that kind of guy. Like, I don't. It's not that I'm saying Domas isn't a good dude, but I don't think Domas is the veteran presence that a DeMar DeRozan is.
Right. I guess I'm not sure if Oladipo is either, is what it comes down to.
Understand that completely.
Like, I'm admittedly not super well versed on, how much his former teammate, like DeMar is universally talked about that way, right? Like, Dalen Terry, or you remember when Kobe White accidentally walked through the presser last year and him and DeMar had a funny back and forth?
Yeah.
Like, DeMar is notorious for having a really close connection with these young guys and being a good mentor to them. I haven't really heard those stories with Oladipo. Maybe I missed them.
I haven't either.
But I could see the logic a little bit for sure. A lead by example. Hey, look, here's a guy who grinded his way throughout the league. Most improved player, was disappointing in Orlando after being a lottery pick, and then turns it around in Indiana. Excuse me. And has a phenomenal stretch there. Most improved player, all that. It goes back to the identity thing, right? Which is probably the most important conversation because it's, again, all the Kings have talked about since Perry got in his position of power, is that we need to create some sense of identity. So what it comes down to is if you feel like Oladipo fits that, right? And it's not just the pillars, but I think they need to figure out what their on-court identity is going to be, which, if it's spacing or pace, like I just don't even know what to expect from Oladipo as a player next year. But if you feel like he fits the identity, then I could talk myself into it. And I think that I'm very much a person that is attempting to, even if I don't agree with the decision, I try to hear out their logic and just see, is there a logical explanation to this, essentially? And if they signed Victor Oladipo and then Scott Perry was coming out and being like, we just really felt like he fit all our pillars. I love the journey that this guy has been on, that he's still fighting to stay in the league. Think he'd be a good example to the young guys. I'm like, okay, I see it. You know, I don't think it's DeMar DeRozan level. I don't think it's Russell Westbrook level, where these guys looked up to him growing up or anything like that. But I do think there could be some sense of value there, assuming that that's how they feel about him.
DeMar DeRozan was a champion of mental health. Like, he wrote a book about it.
Yeah.
Like his story. And I think it was Doug Christie and Scott Perry that both spoke about how important having a presence like that was for the young guys to get through not just an 82-game NBA season that's a grind in itself, but an 82-game season that went the way last year's season went, right? And how this season has the potential to go. Like, this season has the potential to be ugly.
Yeah.
Maybe, again, I'm spitballing here. I don't know for sure. I cannot tap into the mind of Scott Perry. Maybe bringing in someone who has faced the adversity of injuries completely tearing a career apart and arguably ending your career. You're never the same after that. Bringing in someone who's fought through that adversity, who's grateful for the opportunity to play again and get another shot, is the right kind of person to have in that locker room amidst what could be another struggle of a season. I just know Scott Perry very much prioritizes personality and leadership. One of the reasons why we know for a fact Doug Christie still has this job is because of how he was able to handle the frustrations of last season and still bring the same energy every day to what the Kings were doing. That mattered a lot to Scott. I'm guessing, based off of what I believe Scott to value, that's what Victor Oladipo brings to the table outside of the basketball player that could explain Sacramento's interest.
I think it's about perspective, right? Like, I think that for Neat Clifford to have the perspective of Victor Oladipo in the room, a guy that was a lottery pick and the whole journey that you just went through, it shows how quick things change in the NBA. Yeah. And that is very much the reality of the league that we deal with, going back to the Tyrese and Kyrie Irving conversation that we had a little bit earlier. Like, you forget about these guys very quickly when they're not in front of your face. It's what have you done for me lately, is how this league works. And I think Oladipo's perspective of, like you said, assumedly just being grateful to be in the league and having that whole journey behind him that he can relate back to and share the stories with some of these guys, like, I think that could be really beneficial, specifically for, I mean, Acuff, sure, but like more guys like Neat Clifford, Maxime Reynaud, Dylan Cardwell, right? Where it's like, hey, like, make sure you stay on it because they'll forget about you very quickly and you could end up being moved on from. So I think that perspective that he has could be valuable. I would imagine that Precious Achiuwa has similar perspectives. He was a late first-round pick, mid-first-round pick as well, sort of in that mold. But, yeah, to me, I would imagine that Oladipo would bring a lot of healthy perspective to the team, given everything he's been through, and a point of reference for some of these guys of, you better stay on it or things can change very quickly for you.
Let's head to the phone lines on a Friday afternoon. AD calling into the show. Anthony Davis, that's you?
No, it's actually KD. But
KD. Oh, Kevin Durant, even better. I'll take KD.
Oh, good. Hey, I appreciate you guys' show. I respect a lot what you guys say. I will kind of ask you guys to kind of think about this scenario a little bit differently. Malik is not a point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Malik plays erratic. He is not controlled in the point guard position. Meet Clifford. I look at those guys as maybe a third string quarterback. Yeah, they can run the play, but not effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Victor has seen NBA defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he's lost one step, two step, he can actually get out there and calm the floor down, because we all want the young players to play, right? But if A-Cup doesn't do well, who's going to calm everything down and make the plays run? So I'm not mad at the decision at all, because you do need a vet. And you're right. He's not a Russell Westbrook, but we don't have another point guard that is NBA ready. We just don't. And so that's why I kind of like the decision, and it's cheap, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to get your guys' opinion on that, because I don't think Malik is a good point guard. I have to challenge that.
Yeah.
I think he can run the point, but I don't think he's a good point guard.
KD, I appreciate your call. I would agree with you that Malik Monk showed after the De'Aaron Fox trade that he is not a true point guard.
Yeah, I think he even said as much.
Yeah, they tried him in that role. It didn't work. You're in the modern NBA, though, as important as being a true point guard is, and I do believe, before I make this comparison, that Darius Acuff Jr. has the potential to be more of a true point guard, even as a scoring guard, than like a Malik Monk is. Malik is more than a capable ball handler, which has always been my point.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting Malik Monk to have to, or whoever the backup is, to have to handle the basketball for 14-ish minutes a night, because the other 14 or the other 34, I think that maths, the other 34 is being taken up by Darius Acuff Jr. Right? So that's the perspective that I've always had with Malik having the backup point guard position. I also do not think that Victor Oladipo presents a better backup point guard option than Malik Monk. Those are two very similar players in terms of scoring two guards, and also to KD's point, which I understand he's making. I don't think there's a perfect scenario, period. But he said, well, Victor Oladipo knows defenses. Okay, he's had more of a prominent role than Malik Monk has ever had. Malik's played more career games than Victor Oladipo. So why does Victor Oladipo know defenses and Malik doesn't? I'm just saying the role that you would potentially need Darius Acuff Jr.'s backup to be is the role that Malik played effectively for De'Aaron. That's always been my point. But KD is right. He's not a true backup point guard.
I would agree. I mean, I think that Malik has said as much, that he feels like he strives best in that two-guard role. I think he said starting two-guard, for what it's worth. Of course.
That ain't happening.
I think the big difference is that there's so much mentally that comes with being a point guard. It's, hey, Keegan hasn't touched the ball in 3 possessions. Let's make sure to go in his direction, or same for DeAndre or Zach or whoever it may be. And there's just so much more you're worrying about when it comes to all your other teammates. And I do think Malik is most optimized when he's just kind of out there to get buckets, and he gets to focus on scoring the ball. And sometimes that means that his scoring gravity sets up good assist opportunities, and he's a very good passer. I think that's one of the first things we learned when he got to Sackett. It was like, hey, this guy's a lot better passer than I thought he is.
Right.
But I think that he is best when mentally he gets to go out there and focus on the scoring side rather than having to facilitate everything and make sure all the ducks are in a row for everybody's got their touches enough and all of that stuff.
He's great in the pick and roll, though.
He is. I just wonder I don't know if Oladipo fits that point guard mold in the way that we're talking about, but I do see KD's point of having a veteran out there to just calm the tides. DeMar was great at, hey, the other team's on a run right now. Let me go calm this down, get a bucket, get to the line, whatever it may be.
Before we go to break, Spencer in the comment section makes a good point. He says, we need someone with a level head that can calm things down and stop a run when needed. Well, then you're looking for, even as a rookie, you're looking for Darius Acuff Jr. to be that guy. Because if it's Sabonis, if it's Levine, well, that's not a long-term option. And you're not looking to your backup point guard to be that guy. You're not. Because in the moments where you need a level-headed leader, the backup point guard shouldn't be on the floor in that spot. It should be Acuff. That doesn't mean he's going to succeed in it right away. I would expect erratic moments. I would expect moments where Acuff is out of control or he takes a bad shot or something like that. But I'd rather him go through that than put someone in front of him that's supposed to do that just because they were a veteran when we know that's not part of the long-term future. At least that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, and Acuff gets to grow into it. That's what this whole year is about, right? Yeah. Seeing how much he grows, how much he develops. And, yeah, I mean, you would hope you should already have that on your roster.
Yeah.
You should not be looking for that from a minimum deal. Yeah. And they don't really have it. I don't know who would currently do it. Like Malik kind of, I wouldn't say he's a calming presence, that's for sure. But other teams on a run, Malik can go on his own little 8-0 run and then reset the game a little bit. Acuff, but it's in a very different style.
Sabonis.
Right. It is
Keegan.
Is Keegan that? Is DeAndre
maybe?
Hunter maybe that? I don't think so. Like, I just think maybe Zach. But again, these are guys that are doing it by going out there and knocking down some shots, right? Rather than getting to the line, calming it down, half-court offense, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm just not – it's been so long that I don't know what Oladipo looks like currently.
Added to the list of questions for the Kings to try and answer this year. When we come back – the Spurs say they're still committed to De'Aaron Fox. They probably don't really have a choice, but I like it. And D'Angelo Russell wants this superstar to join Brendan's Boston Celtics. I don't know if you've seen this or not, Brendan, but it'll probably make you happy. We'll talk about it next before Crosstalk with Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Take Sactown Sports with you everywhere you go with the Sactown Sports app. The most in-depth coverage of the Kings and 49ers. A library of written and video content. And all your favorite personalities all in one place. Download the Sactown Sports app today and get in on the action. Your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Everyone loves to be outside, and so do mosquitoes. Protect yourself against mosquitoes and West Nile virus by following these simple tips. At least once a week, look around your yard and drain stagnant water from any containers where mosquitoes can breed. Remember to use an effective mosquito repellent, especially at dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Close all doors and be sure screens are in good working condition. At the Mosquito and Vector Control District, we're here to help. Visit us at fightthabite.net.
Carmichael Dave here, so proud to talk about my new friends at Pest Pros, where they are family owned, they are locally rooted, and they are committed to serving Northern California. I got a mouse problem at my house, and I don't like mice. I got a cockroach problem at my house, and I don't like cockroaches. That's a real thing. You're going to get pest protection somewhere. Why not get it at a place that is locally owned and operated? Longtime Kings fans and partners, and the community, yeah, you've spoken. They're back-to-back Sacramento favorites. So if you got pest control, you don't have Pest Pros. Step up to the pros with their all-star lineup. Don't just make the call, make the right call. Go to pestprosps.com, Sacramento grown, family owned, or call them at 916-588-9345. That's 916-588-9345. Step up to the pros at Pest Pros.
Sacramento's best selection, best quality, and lowest prices on kitchen and bath products are at the new Anova Cabinet and Stone. For a limited time, get stunning new quartz countertops starting at just $159. That's right, only $159 for gorgeous quartz countertops. Listen to this. For a limited time, cabinets for kitchens and bathrooms are up to 50% off. Yes, up to 50% off new cabinets. It's a must-see, the new Anova Cabinet and Stone at Florin Road and Highway 99. Learn more at AnovaCabinetStone.com.
and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
There are a lot of players that I'm sure are anxious for the season to start for one reason or another. Brennan, we covered De'Aaron Fox very closely his time here in Sacramento. And I know his nonchalantness always frustrated people. His doesn't really matter approach to
I really did think
things.
he would keep that up in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I always felt that a lot of that from De'Aaron was, one, a learned behavior from all the losing that he did in Sacramento, because you and I very much remember like the do-rag De'Aaron era where he was very frustrated every day, every night. And
that's where that quote comes from.
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
He kind of learned the copium and how to just kind of get through it and I think a lot of his family life has helped with that. But we still know De'Aaron Fox is a competitor. I just wonder, are we going to see a locked in, dialed in, F everybody, watch me approach to the start of the season? Or do we get right back to kind of a nonchalant De'Aaron Fox?
I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter indeed, because the San Antonio Spurs are, you want to say stuck with him because of his contract. I don't think that's the case yet, but they have recommitted to them. This is from Mike Wright. After Fox's rough showing in the NBA Finals, team sources said the Spurs remain committed to the veteran, pointing out that San Antonio might have never reached the finals without the point guard's contributions while playing on a high right ankle sprain. I agree with that part, but it doesn't.
Game 7 against OKC, right, was I think the big one.
Doesn't make up for the performances in the finals, though.
It doesn't, and unsurprising to say the least. He is just starting a 4-year, $221 million contract extension. And what else are you going to do at that point? Like, if he was maybe floated around in Giannis trade talks or something like that, sure. And it's a large matching salary that I bet you at some point they'll trade him for someone, right? They'll go star hunting, attach draft picks, Carter Bryant, whatever, and try to go get some star in a year or two, whatever it may be. But right now, like, it's just when Dylan Harper got drafted that this all became weird.
Right.
If we would have waited, if the Kings would have waited until the offseason,
which they always should
to
have
trade him, which 100% they should have done.
Let Scott Perry have handled it. It would have been way better.
They were just too desperate of, hey, we gotta change this right now.
No, we got to make the play
essentially. And for Zach LaVine, what are we doing? That's where so much of this timeline got screwed up for the Kings. Ridiculous. But the Spurs obviously committed to him. This is prior to winning the lottery, which was insane that they won that number 2 pick and then get the rights to drafting Dylan Harper. That's where it gets weird, because he could play next to Stephon Castle, and it's like, are you eventually going to move this guy that's making $50 million next year to a bench behind Dylan Harper? Like, luckily, since those guys are on rookie contracts, you could get away with that financially. It works fine for now.
It's a pretty expensive 6-man.
It is. It very much is. But I also think that he's always been somebody that embraces, okay, what role does the team need from me now?
Yes.
Like when Tyrese was here, this is the one I always think of. There was a whole article that Chris Haynes wrote talking to De'Aaron about how De'Aaron was like, well, I'm embracing playing the 2, essentially. And that's not what he was accustomed to, but he was the one that was fully adjusting to, okay, now I'm going to play the 2. Tyrese is running point. Right. That's just how this is going to work.
Yep.
Right? And I'm still not convinced it couldn't have, for what it's worth. But now it feels like in San Antonio, it's like, well, okay, all these other guys need touches, and he's playing more of a facilitator role.
Right.
I think that he could really benefit from, in Sacramento, he was often the first sub, and then he got to just totally fry second units. And like, I don't feel like we really got to see that much in San Antonio, especially in the postseason, and obviously rotations get tightened. You have less opportunity to do so. But also one of those where, remember a game where Tyrese played really well and De'Aaron, very true to form after the game, was like, well, Lou Dort was guarding me. You know, and I still think there is some truth to that. They're going to put the better defenders on De'Aaron. That makes life easier for Castle. Right? And that doesn't show up in the box score. You don't see who was guarding him.
Right.
But that makes a difference. And so I don't know what to make of the whole nonchalant De'Aaron thing. I kind of wonder if that's just something. I think that he cares.
It's a defense mechanism.
I think it's also just how he talks with media.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that he just doesn't care that he got swatted in, what was that, game 2 or whatever, and that set them behind. And I'm sure that he personally reflects and was like, maybe that wasn't a good decision by me, but this is not what he's expressing to media. And I don't think he likes the whole game of like just, I don't know, how much that fan bases talk about it. I don't think he really cares what random people think about it, right?
No,
I think that's where the nonchalant comes in. But I think this guy cares. Like, you're seeing him out in, where are they, out in France? Every time I see a Wemby workout video, De'Aaron's right there with him.
De'Aaron had everybody over to his house this summer for a workout, and then they all went to France to work out with Wemby.
Yeah.
So the Spurs have been very much together. I don't think it's ever been a question of De'Aaron Fox not caring. It's what's De'Aaron Fox's primary motivation. This is going to sound disrespectful, but I think it's a fair point to bring up. What is Zach LaVine's primary motivation in the NBA? I think Zach LaVine's primary motivation has been to make a lot of money and to take care of his family. And he's done a phenomenal job at that. A phenomenal job. I'm not saying Zach LaVine's not competitive. I'm not saying Zach LaVine doesn't want to win.
There's levels.
But I think Zach LaVine is clearly comfortable with the type of player that he is, the amount of money that it's made him, and I don't think I don't know if it bothers him that when you look at active plus minuses of all time, he's amongst the worst, if not the worst. Like, I don't think, like, he's had an incredibly successful career.
Yeah,
incredibly
made a whole
successful.
lot of money.
De'Aaron Fox is approaching a season where he's on a really, really good team that'll never be his team because Wemby exists. He's got 2 young guards behind him that are knocking on the door. And there's 2 ways you can look at it. Either they're biting at my ankles and a threat to me, or it's my job to usher them in. If De'Aaron Fox does his job successfully, Dylan Harper should take the spot from him.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reality. That's what you would expect. That's what you would want. That's what Mitch Johnson wants. That's what the Spurs want from De'Aaron, is to usher in that next era while helping them win now. But De'Aaron's making a ton of money right now. So what is De'Aaron's primary motivation? Is it to help the Spurs win a championship? If so, we're probably going to see a locked-in version of De'Aaron. Is it to shut everybody up who had nothing but hate to spew his way and still do? There's Twitter accounts of companies when his shoe came out retweeting it saying like brick or something, like just there's like De'Aaron is the butt of every joke in the NBA right now. He is the punchline. He's lower hanging fruit than the Kings are. That's real.
It was World Cup and like somebody blew a lead and they Photoshop his face onto the guy.
Right. Like is he motivated? Well, we've seen in the past, like you said, De'Aaron hasn't really cared what people said about him. Is he motivated by money? If so, he's got it. Is he motivated by winning a championship? If so, he's locked in. Is he motivated by shutting people up? We will see. But to me, a nonchalant De'Aaron Fox on the court suggests that he already won his championship because he got the contract that he signed. And he's there to just play with Wemby. But a locked-in De'Aaron Fox is what the Spurs still need, even with year 2 of Harper and year 3 of Castle, to win a championship. Because I think the Thunder are going to be on the warpath, and the East is what the freaking East is. So that's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a little bit of a weird one because it's just the numbers game. Again, I just go back to Dylan Harper. Like, they went to the finals last year.
Yep.
Like,
in their
I
first
feel like
year together.
That's forgotten somehow in all of this. It's that going into the year, it was like, oh, maybe they could be sneaky good, but everybody's like, okay, OKC is the team to beat, right? And that may be the case again going into this year. Who knows? Knicks, whatever. They went to the championship.
Yep.
Like, De'Aaron did his job.
Yep.
Now, I don't know what you thought, but when I was watching it, I was just like, well, these are his looks.
Yeah.
He's just not knocking them down.
Yeah, he shot terribly in the finals.
And like, sometimes the shots just don't fall.
Yeah.
Right?
But
like,
that's what they're paying you to do.
100%. It's just people can have bad series, and it feels so amplified. That is the last basketball that we saw, obviously, in the finals, and he kind of pooped the bed, right? Like, it was bad, but it was his looks.
Yep.
Those are I didn't think he was forcing or taking too many shots. Like, maybe closing the game, could he have gone to Victor a little bit more, whatever. He's also a guy that won Clutch Player of the Year. Like, I think that he does have that gene in him a little bit. And so it's one of those where I think he easily could have made 5 more shots in each of these games. They were good looks.
Yeah.
Where it gets a little weird is when people are like, well, he was playing through an injury. Matt, he's playing through an injury every year.
Yeah.
By the middle of the season, he's hurt notably in one way or another. It feels like for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's where I start to get a little weird it's always weird, right? It's never the same thing where ankles do tend to get in the way a little bit. That's why he's got those Steph Curry braces on with those shoes. But there was a thumb previously. Yeah. Like it always feels like he is hurt at the end of the year, and that just makes this more complicated.
For really quick context before we go to break, De'Aaron Fox played in 72 games last year. This is during the regular season. I know the playoff numbers are what matter the most. His scoring dropped significantly to 18 points per game, but that's because he's number 2 to Victor Wembanyama. He had his second most efficient shooting percentage of his career last season. And he had one of the best seasons in terms of assist numbers.
I don't think they made it to the finals despite De'Aaron. I think they made it with De'Aaron.
Right, but ultimately, when it came time to perform in the finals, De'Aaron didn't, and now there's the price tag attached to him. Plus, people naturally want to rush the Spurs timeline for no reason when the Spurs financially do not have to rush that timeline yet. No. People just got to speed everything up because knee-jerk reactions.
That's how you ruin a team.
Yeah, that's for sure. Look at the Kings.
We've seen it.
Coming up next, to wrap up the week, Crosstalk with Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles. They join us before their final show of the week right here on Sactown Sports.
Sactownsports.com is your online home for sports in Sacramento. Dive deep into the Kings, 49ers, Raiders, Giants, Athletics, and more with your favorite local personalities and some of the most trusted sports voices in the community. Stream Sactown Sports 1140. Watch original video content and read in-depth analysis all in one location. Sactownsports.com. Your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
This Green and Gold Injury Report is brought to you by the law firm of Gingery, Hammer, and Associates. If you get in an injury, just call Gingery. Zach Geloff started his rehab assignment in Las Vegas, coming off his knee injury, going 3 for 10 with a home run in Las Vegas. Jeffrey Spring went on the 15-day IL for right hip discomfort, though the MRI was negative for any acute injury. Nick Kurtz received an ultrasound-guided injection on his right thumb. No timeline has been announced on his return to the Green and Gold.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is, what makes us different from other law firms?
At Gingery, Hammer, and Associates, we handle your case from beginning to the end.
Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether it must go into litigation, or whether it has to go all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve.
When you get an injury, just call Gingery.
Now through August 31st at Big O Tires, receive $80 to $120 in instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nexen, Nitto, or Sumitomo tires with installation purchase. Disposal fees extra, not good with other offers. See your locally owned Big O Tires dealer for pricing.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The summer of Silverado continues at Folsom Chevy. General Manager Eric Wilson and his team have rolled out an incredible deal for August on every 2026 Silverado half-ton truck in stock with a 5.3-liter engine. $13,000 off MSRP, 0% financing for 5 years. No monthly payment for 90 days, and there's a lifetime warranty. Find it all at Folsom Chevy at the Folsom Auto Mall. Must finance with GM on approved credit. $16.67 per 1,000 financed. Cannot be combined with other offers. Ends August 30th, 2026.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
It's
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not dealing with Alan Stiles today. I'm telling you right now. We're supposed to be riding on cloud 9 with Fernando Mendoza's debut, and you coming at me?
It could be worse because your last segment was about Duren Fox, so you're getting off easy.
Which is, and what did we say? And what did I say?
Easy.
Fox hater.
I just heard D-Train. That's all I heard.
We said De'Aaron Fox, the Spurs are recommitting or still committed to De'Aaron Fox. And I said, what else are they supposed to say?
What else are they supposed to say?
Get out of here. Walk out the door, walk back in, change your energy up.
My energy's fine.
No, switch it up. I don't like it.
He's bringing the proper energy.
No, you brought it in too.
I know.
You brought it in too.
Poor Tyrese Halliburton.
I didn't say poor Tyrese Halliburton. Both of y'all don't do this to me.
How about, hey, Nando? We're Fernando.
No, I don't even want it.
We got Fernando.
Yes. You got a problem with my takes on Fernando? Did I say anything you didn't like on Fernando?
I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
He walks in I don't know why I'm talking to you. You were in here. Alan walks in and says, I've disagreed. He didn't say hello. Nothing. He says, I've disagreed with every take of yours the last 24 hours. That's what you said.
This is true. Can't confirm.
That's what you said. Not, hello, Matt, how are you?
But see, he didn't come after you on the air. He said that off the air. You're the one that brought it to the air.
Yes.
That's right.
Alan, because say it with your chest.
He would never say that on the air.
You're right.
No.
Well, you said it.
Of course not. No,
now.
he'd wait till your guys' show started and I wasn't in the room.
That's also a good
then
point.
You'd bring it on
That's
the air.
also a good point. But how about them Raiders?
I enjoyed your guys' show a lot yesterday. I was going to compliment it. Now I don't want to.
It's too late. You already did by not doing it.
Yes, Fernando looked fantastic.
Did you happen to hear Alan's list of favorite Raiders yesterday?
No, he couldn't name 2, so he lost me.
It was a legendary time.
Yeah.
It will
a lot
go
of Raider
down.
fans went after him.
Did they?
For it.
Who we got on the list?
Hold on.
Okay, yeah, no, we need to.
No,
This is about to be crazy.
First of all,
Tyler Lindenbaum.
First of all, it was a my guy list. It was not a best.
Favorite
here we
Raiders.
go.
It was not a best.
Right.
Raiders of all time.
Like, my number 1 is Khalil Mack because he's my guy. He's not the best Raider of all
Didn't make
time.
the list, Matt.
Woodson?
But
Woodson
Latavius
was on.
Murray did.
L-Train was number
Oh, my.
And Richie flew in here.
You've got a problem with my takes over the last 24 hours and Latavius Murray is on your Raider
but
list?
those are different because this is my guy.
Your guys.
Yeah.
Just like De'Aaron is your guy, huh?
De'Aaron is my guy, financially.
Get him off that list. If I don't want
Financially
De'Aaron Fox
speaking.
and Latavius Murray on the same
Come on,
list.
L-Train.
Is Darius Hayward Bay on your list?
He's close. Seabass.
His list was so questionable that I jokingly said Seabass, and he goes, "Oh yeah, he's number 5."
Sebastian Janikowski's not in my top 5, but I love Seabass.
He should have been right there. I honestly just ended up putting the whole 2016 team as number 5.
Oh.
That's what I ended up doing.
So Derek Carr made the list?
Well, the team did, not Derek specifically.
It sounds like Derek would not make the cut.
Derek Carr was the MVP of that team.
Derek, to me, this is what I said. Derek is like the sibling, right? I will defend Derek, but I had my own things to say about Derek Carr when he was the quarterback.
What about
But
Michael
if anybody
Crabtree?
tries to talk, I loved Crabtree, but when he got the chain.
Not on the list?
Yeah. When he got the chain.
He knocked down a few pegs there.
There's a 49er on the list,
I
a
put
Seahawk,
Jerry Rice.
and a Cowboy.
I put Jerry Rice. I put Marshawn.
No, we don't claim either of them.
Who's the Cowboy?
We can't
Latavius
claim
Murray.
that.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
more
yeah.
of
The
a
best
Raider.
thing Marshawn Lynch did as a Raider was dance on the sideline.
And that's why he made it.
Okay.
Bo Jackson was number
Oakland
1.
guy.
The Oakland guy through and through. So
Really from Oakland, though.
I mean, you had to. It just felt weird not putting them in. And Jay got it. You know, we got there.
Jay got it?
Not at first. Nobody got it
Yeah,
at
I don't
first.
know if I'd say Jay got it.
Nobody
Honestly,
got it at first.
Him not liking my takes is now a compliment to me.
But
It's always been a
is
compliment.
my guy a take though? You know?
It'd be like Chris Watkins being like, Trey Lyles on the Kings Hall of Fame.
Right, exactly.
Although-
and then Whitey shared his and Jay shared his. And, it really, we really got to a good place because I said, hey, you don't have to say people just because you think that's what you're supposed to say. So it really led to a great conversation, people opening up about their guys and their favorite athletes. And you don't just have to, just fall in line with everyone else. So I really think that we opened some doors.
It's like me going like, man, I loved Jonas Jerebko.
That's
you know,
your guy.
that was one of my guys. Brandon Bass,
so we're really expanding.
Jamias Ramsey.
Oh yeah, Robert Woodard.
So we're really expanding on the my guy list, and people just being more open about. You know what? I kind of like that guy.
It doesn't seem like Victor Oladipo, one of your guys.
You know, respect Victor. Love Victor. Love everything he's done for the game.
That's like when somebody starts with, no offense.
No, I didn't say that.
No, Alan Stiles is a kick-ass politician, let me tell you.
I love Victor.
Alan Stiles can get right into the political.
What he's done for the game.
What's a better nickname for Oladipo, Home Depot or Victor Von Doom?
Home Depot.
Okay, all right.
Home Depot's a good one.
What a great
actually.
sponsorship.
It's crazy. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he
Sponsored
hasn't
by.
played in like half a decade. So.
Yeah. Well, no, we found
Just made it up.
2023.
Can we not insult the dude before he signs the contract?
I'm just saying.
So it's happening.
Probably.
To do what?
How did we insult him?
Home Depot?
I didn't make that up.
Home Depot's awesome.
Do it yourself.
Yeah, whatever you need, you go there and you get it.
Someone in the comment section said, I'm more of a Lowe's guy. Who was that?
That would be Ben Simmons.
Oh, I thought it was the comment section. I'm sorry. I just tune you out.
Does that lean more Ben Simmons between the two?
No.
Same problem.
Having this combo.
Who was the name you said yesterday?
Nick
He's like,
Smith.
I got the answer. Who was it?
Oh,
some
Haywood Highsmith?
Hey, honestly, that's more my vibe.
That's not horrible.
I've got it.
There is
the
no
name.
answer. There is no answer.
That is true.
My answer is Sean Padula.
That's
That's
right.
my answer.
That's right.
Sean Padula.
Which who?
He's who put some respect on Rookie of the Year for the G League's name.
I'd rather have Isaiah Stevens than Sean Padula.
You don't know that.
Sean Padula is crazy.
I know that.
Because that's your guy.
Go get John Elmore.
I can't believe I missed PBJ, but I missed
And they never gave him a fair shake. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, if nobody ever gives you a fair shake, it's probably fair.
I mean, if you look at the shot repertoire that he has, he deserves another.
Remember when you had a guest on, he called him Kevin Durant? And you're like, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
I can see the parallels, but just didn't go in the right direction.
Can we end our Friday by can we extend the olive branch to each other to end our Friday?
Sure.
I'm with you 1,000%. Whitey's gatekeeping of season ticket holders yesterday.
That was nuts.
Was wild.
That was crazier than anything I've ever gatekeeped.
Whitey said if you buy a 3-game pass for the Kings, you don't get to call your
you don't have season tickets. That's all I said.
But who's claiming
This is just
that?
factual. No, you do not.
Who's
I'm with Whitey
claiming
here.
that?
You have tickets throughout the season.
No.
This is the most vague terminology. They have like that month pass.
It wasn't your point. It was just that was very Alan Styles of you to gatekeep.
Yeah, Alan twisted it into something it didn't need to be.
Well, I
That
don't
doesn't sound
twist.
like Alan.
I don't twist. I don't turn. I don't play Twister. It's a great game. Never played. Play a lot when I was a kid, but not now.
You got a certain cadence going on
Let's
there.
see. Is he running the country?
Yeah, that changed real quick.
Come on, guys.
Whitey Gleason, Alan Styles. It's a Friday. They got you for the next 4 hours. Shout out to Brendan. Thank you. Well, no. Oh, well? No?
Yeah, sure.
Were you here all day?
2 hours. Last 2 hours. Yeah.
Shout out. What? Say something.
Filling in a
Say
little
something,
bit. You
Mr.
guys never
Roundtable.
asked me to go on, so
Not
got to
true.
get my airtime somewhere.
Say
Not
something,
true.
round table.
Not true.
Brendan, I appreciate you
No
picking
problem.
me up, helping me out for these 2 hours.
You need some coffee?
I
I'll
just
get
had
you.
some earlier,
All right,
actually.
'cause
Just
I'm your
finished
guy,
it.
you know.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Vegas ties. You wouldn't know, Matt.
On second thought, kiss my ass.
Yeah, sorry.
All 3 of you, kiss my ass. Whitey Gleason, Alan Styles next. Enjoy them for the next 4 hours. Great show. Great show. We'll be back on Monday.
Football is back.